Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's well. Just about 30 hours to go until what I would say is Tottenham's biggest fixture, since the last fixture we had and the last fixture before that, since 1977, for those who remember Tottenham being relegated. I was one of those. I was only a young lad. I've got to tell you. But listen, for you people that haven't experienced it before, it's gonna hit you hard. Trust me, it's gonna hit you hard. Big game, massive, huge game tomorrow against Wolves. It is just a must win. There's none of this drawing, getting a point business. Like I say, for me, we've been in some big games, the Champions League final and cup finals and whatever else, and the Europa League, but we're talking about Premiership survival at the end of the day. And like I've always said, it's lovely to win cups, but your bread and butter is your league football at the end of the day. We spoke about all this last year. Luckily enough for us, there were 3 teams that were worse than us. So we sort of, even though we was in 17th, we was away from it as such. This year, nothing's changed at the club, and we're in the same position as we were last year. But unfortunately for us, there's only 2 teams at the moment that's worse than us. So it's, as it stands at the moment, it's looking like it's going to be a dogfight between Spurs and West Ham. Forest are still there and thereabouts. They're within catching distance, so they're still in it. But I said on this show a long time ago, if Spurs ever get in the bottom 3, have we got the nuts to get out of it? And we're going to find out now. We're going to find out. I was hoping it wasn't going to get to this stage of where we are now, but, not winning a football game since middle to late December, whatever it was, not winning a game since in the Premier League, it tells us, things are not looking good. And where we get maybe 3 wins from out of 5, the form tells you otherwise. I'm not saying it can't happen, mind you, but the chances of it are that it did happen are not great. When you take into account, if we said, for argument's sake, the Wolves game, the Leeds game at home, the Everton game at home, they're 3 games, that we should be winning. Wolves are down, whether you're away to them or not. Yeah, they're going to come out, no pressure on, probably play a bit of football. We've got the pressure. We need to win the game. But then you've got the 2 home games. Our home form's been so poor this season, but we should be saying, yeah, we can beat a Leeds at home and get 3 points. Yeah, we can beat an Everton at home and get 3 points. But again, Everton, last game of the season. Does it have to go down to the last game of the season? Listen, like we say, there's 5 games, 5 massive games. Every game that goes past, win or lose now, it's the biggest game since 77. For me. Really, really important that we don't lose this game this week. Well, that we win this game, this weekend. But there you go. We'll say a few hellos. I know there's this chat, man, honestly. You lot are mad. Big up to Jim. He says, big up. Good morning, Cookie, in a chat from sunny but cool northwest. Yeah, it is, Jim. It's very nice. And then I've ripped my neck in the night, so I can't turn my bloody head without moving my body. There you go. It's beautiful out there, Jim. Very, very nice. Meant to be very nice up in the northwest today, about 19, I think, 20 degrees. So, looking forward to it. Hope you have a great day, mate. Stu's in, as always. Good morning, Cookie. Hope you. Yeah, we're all good, Stu. We're all good, man. Thank you very much. Same to you. Same to you. And he follows that up with, if you're new, hit the subscribe button and like the stream. Please do. Please do. That was that one there. There you go. Everyone's saying hello to each other this morning. So forgive me if I miss any when you're talking to each other. I'll let you crack on with that. Kate says, morning, handsome. Sorry, won't be in the show this morning. But catch some later on. Have a great show. We will do, Kate. We will do. The link's in the chat. If anyone wants to pop on and give their view of tomorrow's game. And also, don't forget tonight at 7:30, the fan call-in show. The pre-match fan call-in show, I should say, where it's all about you. At the end of the day, you can come on, talk your anything Tottenham, talk about the game tomorrow, talk about where you think we're going, what are we doing, whatever you like, whatever your subject is, you can talk about it. And it's your chance to come on and sort of air your grievances as such and talk about what you want to see from Tottenham Hotspur going forward. But that's for tonight. It's 7:30. 7:30 tonight. So, yeah, I'll remind you all a bit more of that later on. But going on with this show, you know, again, so important. It's going to be interesting to see if De Zerbi sticks with the same team or whether he tinkers a little bit. We know that I've read Udogie was out. And then I've read this morning is a doubt. So I don't know if he's out or if he's a doubt. Right. But I read yesterday that he was out for 2 or 3 weeks. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But like I say, this morning I've read that he's just a doubt for the game. So, you know, for me, it's got to be Kinski, Porro, Van de Ven, Danzo. I think he'd go with Udogie if he was fit. Yeah. But let's say Udogie stroke Spence, if you like. As much as I want Paulinia to play, right, I'm almost caught. Do you go Paulinia, move Bentancur? Is he going to be fit enough? Or do you have that double pivot of Paulinia and Bentancur? Yeah, then, like, for argument's sake, a tail on the left. And then the problem is with Udogie, if Spence does play over there, we had the option of playing a Spence at right back and pushing Porro maybe further on. It's difficult, isn't it? Because I don't want to play none of these forwards because they're all crap at the end of the day. Right? We've only got one creative player. I wish Maddison was another 2 or 3 weeks further forward, because I'd play Richie up front and I'd have Maddison and Xavi. Yeah, or Maddison in his normal position and Xavi on the left, tail off the right. But the midfield, I think, the midfield that he picks for this game, yeah, it is going to be key to what happens tomorrow. We've got to have Xavi in for the attacking threat. A lot of people say I'll get Basuma out. You know, I think he did quite well last week. I think they all did all right last week. There was no one that, you know, Bentancur 60 minutes after being out for so long, thought the geezer played well, to be honest with you. Obviously, his legs run out. Hopefully, he's recovered this week. Yeah. The thing is with Basuma that a lot of people, and they'll go, you know, you can go back and say, oh, but yeah, Cookie, that was however many years ago at Brighton. Right, he carries the ball. When he's in his correct position, when they're playing him as an 8, yeah, as a box-to-box, yeah, you'll see the best out of him, whether you like him or not. Right, he's our only ball carrier as such to get us out from the edge of our 18-yard box and 10 yards further up and get that ball up the pitch so that they can all move up with him. When you haven't got that, you end up static and in a low and a mid block, and you're trying to get the ball up to a Simmons, a Solanke, a Ritchie. And because the forwards, especially Solanke, Ritchie, Mawani, they can't hold on to a ball, it bounces back and you end up set back where you were again. You know, you've got to have a ball carrier in the team just to give you that release. You know, and give you a chance to move up the pitch. Because us lumping it up to Ritchie and Solanke or Mawani, whoever's there, it just don't work. You know, they'll hold up 1 in 20. So it's difficult. It's going to be difficult to find the goals. And like I say, I wish Maddison was just a few weeks further on. Unfortunately, he's not. But, you know, and then you've got match fitness to take into account as well. And when I say I'd love to see him, I know you're not going to see it for 90 minutes. Yeah, but when a sub is made, when a Maddison does come on with 20 minutes to go, if that's what's required, yeah, don't take Xavi off to replace him. Get one of them forwards off that are absolute shit. A lot of them, right? It's shown this year, all of them are rubbish. So if we do need to make a sub, yeah, and we got 2 forwards on the pitch, have one of them off. Leave Richarlison on, yeah, but only because of his shithousery. Yeah, tell him to work his arse off for 20 minutes, Solanke style, because we know Solanke does that. He don't stop running around, but he's never in the box. You know, and there's 20 minutes to go. Have your Maddison on with you, you know, move your Simmons out slightly to the left so he can come in off the left and work with Maddison. They can switch. They can both play that position. You know, we've got to try and get a bit of something going somewhere. But can't keep persisting with 3 forwards and playing, you know, Mawani and Solanke. And like last week, Ritchie didn't get on the pitch. At the end of the day, again, whether you love them or hate them, these forwards, he's the top scorer in the team with whatever it is, 10, 9, what, it don't matter. It don't matter. But if he's the man, yeah, that's scoring more goals than any of the other forward line, you've got to play him. I think you've got to play him. But it is what it is. My man's here, look.
Good morning, brother. How are you? How is everyone?
No sleep for you again, Brian.
Well, I did another late night Lily White last night, and finished early about 10:30. I went to sleep at 10:30 immediately. Took my sleeping pills. Woke up, thought I'd had a lovely sleep, and it was 10 to midnight. So I'd been asleep an hour. Then I went back to sleep, and I woke up at 3:30, and I was like, you know what, give up.
Give up. Now.
So I thought I'd come and keep you company.
Why not, man?
Spend the morning with your guys. Do my stream with Ben at 9 a.m. or 2 p.m. your time, and then see you later. Drift away and get some proper sleep. But I thought, you know what? I saw you by yourself, and I thought, you know what? Let's come and spend some time with you, brother.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, well, it's just having a chat, just saying how, you know, for me, every week that goes past, Brian, it's the biggest game since, and I know you can name the Champions League games, you can name the cup games that we've had in the past, but for, like I said, for people that don't remember relegation back in the day, and I do as a youngster, you don't want it to happen, Brian. No one wants it to happen. For the people that haven't experienced it, it's not a great feeling, and it's not. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it can take a bit of time to get over it. Lucky for us, you know, a lot of that mood was taken away because we come back up again straight away. But Brian, this could be different, couldn't it?
Well, first of all, I was 2 years away from being born when we got relegated, so I haven't personally. I've seen us come close.
Yeah.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. And it's very concerning. It's very, very concerning. But we will see what happens. Tomorrow's a massive day. But do you know what I was thinking? And one of the reasons I came on as well, it's a very, very special day today.
Yep, I know what it goes, Brian.
It's Super Jan Vertonghen's birthday. And if there's a birthday to celebrate, if there's some joy to bring to the Spurs world, is that my favourite centre-back to ever play for Tottenham and my second favourite player of all time, it is Super Jan's birthday. So, mate, what we would do to have a Jan Vertonghen in the team right now?
Brian, I'd have a Jan Vertonghen upstairs, mate. Now.
Mate, I'd have him back in any capacity. Now he's retired, I would be moving mountains to get him, whether he wants to be a coach, whether he wants to be in the board, whether he wants to do anything. Yeah. Literally, I would be on the phone to Jan Vertonghen right now, going, right, what do you want? Do you want to come back to England? And what position do you want? And you've got it. You've got it at Spurs. That man is a very, very, very special player to me. I adore Jan.
He absolutely is, mate. He absolutely is. Look, he's one of the finest centre backs to play for Tottenham for a very long time, and also versatile as well. You know, if you said to him, Jan, we need you to play left back today, like they did in that Dortmund game.
Oh, mate,
you know, you'll always remember that, Brian. We'll all remember that. You know, and listen, he's a very fine player, and what I loved about Jan was that, you know, forget the playing football part of it. Yeah, on the pitch, the connection that him and Toby had, just by opening their mouths as well, Brian. You know what we talk about a lot. You know, footballers opening their mouths. That partnership was special, Brian. Very, very special. You don't see it very often. That type of partnership.
You don't, mate. Do you know what? We can have a little bit of the good feeling and vibes of yours.
Yeah, go for it, man.
We can have a go. But you look at it now. If we had him, all this destiny injuries, it would be Jan, just go to the left.
Yeah.
Just go to the left. We're covered, and he'd do it. Like you said, he's definitely the best partnership or one of the best defenders we've had in the Premier League era, for sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, he's my favourite. He's my second favourite player of all time. And not only, mate, you mentioned the partnership and the mate, if you want to look at a defender or a player that just got what it meant to play for Spurs.
Yeah.
There was such a connection with him and the fans. All right, I was incredibly, incredibly biased when it comes to him. Do you remember even in the Champions League run when he played with a concussion in the first half?
Yeah.
He tried to run through a brick wall. Mate, special, special player. Mate, you should see, just before my birthday a few years ago, he retweeted one of my tweets about him. I acted like a little kid. And don't get me wrong, I have shamelessly gone on all my social media and tagged him in everything saying happy birthday. So hopefully he'll see it today and respond. Just honestly, just a top draw player. And I just hope. I tell you what, guys. Let's ask the question: which players do you think would be great at board? Let's just say board, not coaches, because we can all say, "Oh, I love it." He's got that aura about him, like a Van der Sar does at Ajax or Overmars. Obviously, I've chosen Dutch players, but there's some Spurs players, and we say we need footballing men at the club to have footballing input. I'd love to have it. I mean, who would you have, Cookie? And if we had to say Premier League era, let's just keep it recent.
Let's say, can I go back as far as Ledley King?
Well, he's there, isn't he? He's with Dawson. He's an ambassador.
Yeah, I would. You know what? Someone like Ledley King, who's got that cool personality, if you like. You know, when he does interviews, his voice never raises and all that type of stuff. But you know, I think someone like him, as whether he's got that vast thingy of players, I don't know, Brian. I don't know, but I just think someone like, a Ledley King. I think people with fire might help as well. You talk about if you could have someone, and I know it's not. When you say about people that get Tottenham, right? Someone like a Van der Vaart.
Oh,
right now, I know.
Now you're talking. Now we're cooking.
Right when you get players like that, if they've moved on in their career, and you can find them something within the club, not an ambassador, like you say, Brian, but a proper role in the club to bring this club forward again. Then people like that. I don't think you can go far wrong, Brian. What role you give them, I don't know, but I think these people like Jan, like a Van der Vaart, and there's plenty of others as well that we can name. That get the club. And want the club to move forward, because at the end of the day, Brian, these numbnuts upstairs ain't got a clue, mate. And this is what bothers me more than anything else. I've heard you say, and still say, plenty of people say about what will change. And I get, again, what Stell says, perhaps it will force them to do whatever. But, Brian, what if they do nothing, mate? Honestly, it's not in their interest to, right? We all know that. But what if it is just the bare minimum again? Ellie sent me a thing this morning that she asked me to mention, right? So it was either yesterday or the day before, whenever. There was a Leicester, as you know, Leicester went down the other night. And a fella from the supporters club was calling the owner outside as they was leaving. Now, the owner could have just got in his car with his missus, or whoever it was, whoever they were with, and gone. Took the abuse and gone. Do you know what? The fella, his mate, his son, in it, who passed away. I can't remember his name offhand, but he's come over and actually spoken, and it was recorded and everything. And he's actually spoken and apologised for what's gone on. We've made mistakes, but I promise you, we are going to deal with it. We're going to get it sorted out. Just something like that. People at our club would never do that, would they?
The only thing is, if they do nothing this summer, put it this way, like I said, if we stay up, please God we do, they won't change their ways. They won't change their ways.
No.
If we go down, they will have to change their ways, but it's not going to be changing their ways anything beneficial. It's going to be to cover their losses, and either one of those happen. I said my next time back in England will be June 2027 to celebrate my parents' golden anniversary. I'll be back before the start of the season. If Lange is still there or Vinay by the time the World Cup ends, that's the deadline that I'm giving myself, which gives me best part of 3 months to try and tell Ilana, listen, like it or not, I may be away for a week, 2, whatever. Because I cannot deal with it. I cannot deal with it. We're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna look.
Brian, I said to you in the WhatsApp yesterday, right? I'm telling you now, if he's still here, right, I'm coming down, to Cruise Hill, and we're out. You won't be on your own, mate. Let me tell you now, right? We'll be there with you. You see how there's a few people in the WhatsApp group that said, Brian, if you're there and he's still here, we'll be there with you. You won't be on your own. And I promise you that, Brian, that we will be there with you.
I've got no doubt. And the greatest thing about it, big up, Mark, the greatest thing about it is when I have protested at the training ground, it's been January and it's been freezing. I've got no problem standing out the side of the training ground in the height of summer. No problem whatsoever. Catching a tan, being amongst friends, causing a scene, and getting a nice bit of colour on me. So it'll be nice to do it in the summer and not in January. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Listen, it all has to start, Brian, one way or the other. Stay up or go down. The protesting needs to start again. And I know you're doing your thing, you know, in North America and all that sort of stuff. But here, it needs to start again. Yeah, because it's disgraceful and it ain't good enough. End of story, as we all know. Sheriff, how are you, mate? What are you doing home, by the way? Eh?
Yeah, major bonus, mate.
Oh.
Starting motor went in the van.
Oh. So they've sent him home.
At the council yard, mate. Went to leave with the gang we were with. And
oh, right, one of them, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Nothing.
It's not happening. Yeah.
Got the recovery people out. He said, starting motor's packed up. He said, I ain't got one of them on the van. Because he only carries a few tools and like bolts and, you know, the sort of minor stuff. And so they said, well, it's going to have to be recovered and towed back to the depot.
Yeah.
And I said, well, my car's over there. So I just will bugger off home then. He said, see you Monday.
There you go. Mate, they say things come in three. That's one bit of good luck. Hopefully Spurs give you, if you get one more bit of good luck today, just go to your bedroom and don't leave, because we need the third thing.
Oh, yeah.
So if you get a second touch today, just lock yourself in your bedroom and don't come out till tomorrow.
I'd do that anyway.
There we go.
You know how he lives.
Moving on.
You know. Big up, Sheriff. Thanks for being here, mate. Appreciate it. Listen, I know you're at work all the time, mate, now on these brunch shows. So it's nice to see you on here in the morning, mate.
Yeah, well,
lovely to see you.
Because I was hinting at it about 9 o'clock.
Oh.
So I thought 20 minutes, I could be home and jump on.
There you go. Mark, we've been talking about how important this game is tomorrow, just to get your view on it. For me, you know, every week that goes past, we say it last week, the week before that, and however long you want to go back, it's the biggest game for me since 77. For people that remember getting relegated that long ago, like even though we were young, we do. Don't wish it on anyone, Mark, at the end of the day. You know, I don't know. You was a couple of years younger than me, Mark. But as I know, we came straight back up. But is there any way you can explain to people how you felt, even when you got a bit older and you look back on it and you thought, Jesus, you know?
Yeah. Well, see, what would I have been? 77. I'd have been probably. I'd have been 6 or so.
All right.
6 coming up 7.
Yeah.
You know, like, and to be honest, I can't really remember a lot about it. I sort of can, because I know we went to a game. It might have been the last game of the season, and we ended up on the pitch.
Yeah.
Thousands of us.
Yeah.
Thousands of us. And a few years later, I said, Dad, why were we on the pitch at Tottenham? What did we win that day? And he said, we got relegated. I was like, oh. But like, I can definitely remember us going down, and it's not a good feeling.
No, it's not.
It's not a good feeling.
It's not. And
you know, but like, but from what I've been told about it, it was Terry Neal that started it.
Yeah.
Bill Nick left. Terry Neal come in, ruined the team, ruined it, and then Keith Birkinshaw come in, and there was no coming back from it.
No,
it's a bit like now, really, because the team's been on decline for years.
Yeah.
You know, so, but to be honest, the thing I will say, in 77, when we got relegated, you know, the money wasn't the same as it is now. it wasn't such a disparity between the Premier League and the Championship. Now you're talking millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds. Back then, because I remember the season we were down in League Division 2, what it was then.
Yeah.
The ground was still sold out. It was the old White Hart Lane, obviously, but it was still like virtually full houses.
Yeah.
But this time, the money side of it is crazy but football was ruined when Sky got involved and the Premier League started. We all know. Well, that's what I think anyway. But it's the money these days is just crazy. And if we go down, it'll hurt the owners, which obviously I'm glad about. But I don't want to see us get relegated. So, I mean, will they actually do enough to bring us back up? Because
this is the thing, Mark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Brian says, that if we stay up, they probably ain't going to do a lot. It'll be the usual.
Well,
couple in, couple out. They won't, Mark. They won't. They would do fuck all, Mark. Sorry for swearing.
Every summer we go into it. This summer's the summer. This summer's going to be different. This summer. And then it's just, we'll buy two. And you got to remember, we signed Kudus to not replace Son like for like, but it was a winger and a winger. We signed, obviously, Paulinho on loan. So that was it. We signed Xavi to replace Madison, who was out for the season. We replaced Mwani for Solanke, who was in. We just replaced. We didn't strengthen. We just replaced. That's all we did. We didn't actually go, right, we need this to make the squad stronger. It was like, okay, Madison's out for the season, and Decky's out for the season, so we got Kudus. Didn't replace Son, we left a window short. We built Paulinho, who I still think was a very good buy. I don't think he's getting treated fairly. Xavi wouldn't have come if Madison hadn't got injured. Mwani wouldn't have come if Solanke hadn't got injured. So last season, yes, there was a change in the kind of quality we brought in, but we didn't strengthen the squad. We just replaced very, very long-term injuries and obviously the Sonny issue. And that's what they'll do again. They won't strengthen. Like if we lose Romero and Van der Ven, they'll bring in two defenders, but you haven't made just the team stronger. You're just replacing what you lost.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What they do. That's what they do. They don't strengthen. They just replace what is there. And normally they as we all know, they downgrade it. Hence, we are where we are. So if we stay up, and this is the thing, because they know that Spurs fans won't kick off, they can do it.
Yeah.
In my mind, if the last 2 years has not been a warning to them, then they'll never ever learn. I mean, if you're the boss of a company and it's performing so badly, and almost, I'm not saying the football club's going bankrupt, but if you own another firm and you're struggling, your performance is terrible and all that, surely that's a warning. You've got to sort of look in the mirror and look at yourself and think, right, what's going on here? They seem to be, well, not above the law, but they seem to be a law unto themselves. They can neglect the football side of it so much that we're in.
Mark, let me put it another way to you, because you've just mentioned, I'm actually going to try and flip it and prove the point on the positive. You said the last couple of years they haven't learned, and look where we are. Look where we were when we've been right at the top and just a couple of points away from winning the damn thing.
Yeah.
With Harry, with Poch, they don't do anything then. And that's when times are good. That's when times are good, they don't do it. When times are bad, they don't do it. When it's been in the middle, they don't do it. So it's not going to change. It's not going to change, unfortunately.
Well, it got to, because if we somehow miraculously survive this year, next year we'll be down. Because it's the law of averages, isn't it? You know, one season you're going to get caught out. It may be this season, but the law of averages says you can't just like scrape by and sneak in on the last day of the season or something. You know, it's going to catch you out.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Bark, it is. We can see it. Yeah, lots of people out there can see it. But the people that are in charge, the people that wave the purse strings, the people that employ the people to go and find the people that need to be in the football team, all of them, wankers, out. All of you. You're all useless. You've proved you're all useless. Yeah. As far as the football's concerned, either get lost or get people in that know what it's all about in the Premier League.
Well, it's what you get for having accountants and property developers try and run a football club.
Listen, I'll always remember that Daniel Levy interview on the overlap. And matey said to him about not being there anymore, or how long do you think you'll be here and all that. And he said, well, when I'm gone, let's see how it goes. Right? Now, we all know about Levy. Yeah, we don't need to go into that. But he's left, he's gone, been kicked out, whatever you want to call it. Right? And it has fucking got worse.
Unbelievably, yes.
Do you know what I mean? We was all sitting here for years going, if you go, surely it'll get better. Let's give Enoch a chance. Do you know what I mean? I was one of them when Levy went. I said, right, they get 2 windows, January and the summer window, to prove what they're all about. They've proved nothing. Absolutely nothing. Thanks, sweetheart. Ciao, darling. Oh, do you want the old one? All
Can I
right.
just ask, did your wife have a Canadian branch that could do it to first as well?
She's top dollar, my missus. I'll tell you, mate.
If I said to my wife right now and I messaged her at 5:10 in the morning and said, "Oh, get up and make me a cup of tea," let's just say you'd see a bit of GBH live on screen, and it wouldn't be. I'd be on the receiving end.
I just want to let everyone know that I just want to let everyone know that it's not 5:10 here. It's 10:10, right? And I would never bully my missus to make me a cup of tea, just in case anyone gets the inkling that no, it don't work like that in my house, mate. If she didn't want to make me a cup of tea, she wouldn't make me one. Trust me.
My wife loves winding me up, and there's times I love winding her up. But when she winds me up, it's acceptable. But when I do, she gives me that look. You know, when your wives look at you with that, they look at you with their tone of voice, and you're like, don't look at me with that tone of voice. And I can just see it, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have tried to pull on that thread.
Look, this is it, right? It's like being online, mate, right? My missus, right? She's like, Mark, you go and do what you want to do, mate. Yeah? You want to go and talk about Tottenham, you go and talk about Tottenham, right? But then I might stretch the boundaries a bit, Brian. It's been a right good show, and 3 hours later, you're still going. Do you know what I mean? And in the end, rather than the little subtle taps on the door, as if to say, come on, it's time to go out now. Eventually, she will open the door, give me the look, which means end it now because we should have been gone an hour and a half ago. You're taking the mick.
Mate, I'm lucky. I'm lucky. My dad, who's my hero, like when I say idolizes, we live in a time now where a lot of parents get divorced and marriage isn't always as like from when we grew up.
Yeah.
My parents in a couple of months celebrate 49 years of marriage.
Wonderful.
Every single day that they've been married, my mum gets breakfast in bed every single day, and every single Friday for the best part of 49 years now, my mum gets a £100 bouquet of flowers. Wow. Every single, like literally, the way he treats my mum, I have the perfect role model. So yeah, honestly, I'm lucky in that way. I get to watch the King Romantic. So Ilana reaps the benefits.
My memory is not the best, Brian. I've got to say, and not anymore, and for whatever reason. But I vaguely remember you telling me about this sort of many moons ago.
Yeah.
Now that you told me about your dad and your mum and you know how it all works. You know what I mean in their relationship, and it's a wonderful thing, Brian. It's a wonderful thing.
And is it once a week date night as well?
Say again?
Was it once a week date night as well?
No, not my dad made sure. Look, I'll tell you a very quick story about my dad. This is to explain to anyone who wants to know what my dad's like. Back home in England, obviously, you get the February half term. Isn't it nice to speak about wonderful things, not just doom and gloom? So anyway, every February half term, my mum and dad, and then two of their closest friends, like mum and dad, and they all had 2 kids, like me and my sister. We used to go away. We went to Bournemouth, and this February half term just happened to be Valentine's Day. All down for breakfast, having Valentine's Day. The other husbands and wives giving out cards. And my dad's like, oh, shit. He's going, oh, no. We're like, what? He goes, I've left everything at home. We're like, oh, damn, what am I going to do? They're all having breakfast. My mum is fuming. We're all sitting there having our breakfast. And then during dinner, or breakfast, sorry, they've been married 14 years. We're just sitting there having breakfast. My mum was then delivered 14 Valentine's cards that she was, my dad had sent them to the hotel. A diamond necklace, 14 dozen red roses, and then to top it all off, a barbershop quartet came in and sang to my mum at the table, and all the other husbands and wives were like, you bastard. What have you done? You've just made this card and a box of chocolates look like nothing. That's the kind of stuff my dad does. Honestly, wonderful. Legend.
Wonderful. Love to hear it as well.
I was going to say, the other husbands beat him up outside. Pushing about that much.
But yeah, that's the kind of lineage that I go through. That's where I've got it from.
Oh, I've got news from Drula, by the way. Sorry to change the subject a little bit. I am way behind in the chat, by the way. This was 25 minutes ago.
That's normal, isn't it?
But, well, what can I do when I've got the legend that's Brian Daigle on here? And exactly. He's talking. I'm trying to go through it. We had about 20 minutes worth of comments before we even started. Oh, you know what I mean? It's mad in this
great show, Mark. That's the sign of a great show.
Man, these people they're wonderful people in this chat. Honestly, I think it's brilliant. Drula says, have you seen the latest? Because we've talked about this a little bit and wondering what's going on. Have you seen the latest on Paulinho? We could be triggering the option to buy if the price is right.
Yeah. Let me just rephrase that the correct way. Drula's bang on with what she's saying. It came up yesterday, excuse me, that Spurs have been impressed and happy with Paulinho. They are looking into making it permanent, but the 25 million euros they agreed with, Spurs want to get it done for cheaper. Who'd have thought?
Here we go.
Who'd have thought? Even on an agreement, they want it, but they don't want to pay the price they agreed to pay.
Yeah. So they want it cheaper, right? And then they've got to convince. Is this if we stay up? Is this another one of them again? If we stay up,
this is the thing. Drula, the wonderful Drula, is bang on right doing it. But all this talk that we hear, we're interested in this, and this deal's been set up. In what world can they be set up when you don't know what league you're going to be in? In what world will Paulinho want to be in a relegation? Has he seen what this club operates like? And he's like, nope, I just need... As well, I think Paulinho, the only reason he came on loan and wanted a loan was because it's a World Cup year. And he wanted to make sure he's playing, so he goes with Portugal. Would you want to... Mate, he missed out on... He missed out... mate. But as I say, would you... He could have been sitting on the bench doing nothing, pick up the odd game here and there and get a Bundesliga medal. Are you going to want to commit to Spurs when you actually have no idea, and especially right now when you don't know what league you're in? So the rumour came out yesterday, but yeah, that Spurs are interested, but not at the price they agreed to pay. Who'd have thought it?
What a surprise.
Yeah.
I've never seen nothing like it. Oh, hang on a minute. Don't this happen every transfer?
Mate, honestly, this club, you actually get a fella on loan, right? And when he plays, you think, how long have we been asking for a DM at Tottenham?
Yep.
Like a proper DM, right? And now we have people moaning, yeah, but he can't pass the ball forward. He can't do this. Listen, that ain't his job, people.
Nope.
That's not what he does. He's a breaker up of the game. He attempts to go and win the ball back and give it simple to players that should be, yeah, of a standard that take you back up the pitch again.
He reminds me a lot of Steve
That's what
Perryman.
he does.
He reminds me a lot of Steve Perryman when he was in midfield. He's even said on his podcast, his job was to win the ball back, give it to Glenn. Give it to Glenn immediately.
Give it to Glenn, give it to Mickey Hazard, give it to whoever, give it to the people, yeah, that then light the game up.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's everyone can't do and be good at everything.
No.
Right,
at the end of the day, football's a team game. You need them blockers and then give it to the talent. Give it to the more creative players.
There you go. There you go.
I was going to say more talented because Stevie had because Steve Perryman, he's Mr. Tottenham in my eyes. He is my captain. He's my captain.
One club men, aren't they?
Yeah.
And Flicks is right here, right? For me again, right? You know, we had the wonderful Moussa Dembele in midfield. Right now,
that's what people are comparing him with, mate.
Listen, you can't just go and unless you're going to pay the dough, right? Are you going to go and get that sort of Adam Wharton player type of thing that's improving all the time? You're going to go and pay the 90 million or the 100 million, yeah? And then you're going to go. Normal football teams would go, do you know what? We'll go and spend that money on that fella, and we're going to build this team, this squad around that type of player. Tottenham just don't do it. And listen, in the long run, right, if you've got scouts, they don't get it right every time, right? But when you're buying players of that ilk, yeah, it's difficult to get it wrong unless you're buying a player that just doesn't suit the way your team's going to play football, right? So listen, Brian, you know, right, the amount of money that's been wasted at Tottenham over the years. If they'd have done it right in the first place, yeah, we'd be in a lot different position now, and they would have probably been a lot better off money-wise because we wouldn't have wasted so much.
Well, you talk about buying players and building a team. We didn't have to buy one. We had Harry Kane.
Yeah,
this is true.
Didn't even have to buy him. But I'll tell you what, with that comment up from Hotspur Flicks, the one thing I will say is one of the greatest joys I had was watching Mr. Dembele play live. And if you thought he was good when you watched him on TV, when you watched him live, it was a different ball game, honestly, because you could see his movement. You could see him orchestrating play off the ball. Honestly, watching him live, when I used to watch him live, there used to be 10 minutes where I just watched him like player cam. Well, I just watched him for 10 minutes, watched his movement, watched what he was doing. The way he gets out of trouble with that drop of the shoulder or using his mate, honestly, watching him live was one of the biggest privileges in his pomp. It is like, mate, you just superb player.
Yeah, well, I'll add on to this. When we did the best Spurs team of your lifetime thing, there was a few players, because I know it still hasn't been done, but we were going to do a results show at the end of it, but it never happened. And there's certain players that you know would get in that team. Glenn was one. Moussa Dembele's another one. Gaza's another one. And Jan Vertonghen. So many people picked Jan Vertonghen.
I wonder if I did.
Well, yeah.
Well, do you know what? Listen, there's a lot more people that watch this show now, I've got to say. right? And I will make the effort, and Mark, we all will, yeah, and Nigel, we'll have to get Nigel involved in it, yeah. We'll get it sorted out, and we'll do a show on the results of what the people, I think there was 29 of you all together that put your teams in, of a wide spectrum of ages. I've 3/4 done it. I've got to tell you, I've 3/4 done it. It's nearly done. So it wouldn't take me long, a couple of hours to work the rest of it out, and we'll get a show done on it.
They were great shows. They were great. I loved doing mine.
Yeah, it was good. I think the problem was, Brian, was that as a channel ourselves, we haven't been going long, and there weren't enough people watching us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I could do it again, maybe in 6 months' time or whatever, and do it, because there's so many more people that watch the channel now, it would probably get a lot more traction. Do you know what I mean? Now, you know what it's like, Brian, when you're small. I had this wonderful idea that I was going to get 100 YouTubers to do their teams. It was going to be a massive show at the end, and it never worked out like that, Brian.
Well, the thing you got to look at as well, you two, when you're doing it, is first of all, it's those type of shows when you're a small channel that can make you
I get that.
pick things up. But then also, what you got to make sure is as soon as you start doing it to more people, like you said, there's going to be a lot of people that are picking the same players.
Yeah.
So it's just listening to different people use the same players, but they'll probably refer to stories and memories they have of that player, which will always be different. Like you and me, I think if the three of us now had to say a Paul Gascoigne story, we'd all mention a different one quite easily. But then obviously you get a lot of players that people of certain ages will pick. Like I said, I don't know. Was the rule? I can't remember. Did you have the rule that you had to watch? You had to have seen them play.
It just had to be in your lifetime.
There we go. Exactly. So then you know what I mean. It's like then it's dependent on the age you have, and with people that saw Jimmy Greaves, every single one of them is going to put Jimmy in without a shadow of a doubt. Pat Jennings is another one.
Yeah.
So there's certain players that are always going to get in it for obvious reasons.
Brian, I will tell you now, right? I can give you this officially, that because of the spectrum of the age group, Jimmy Greaves did not get in the final 11.
Blood. Well, yeah, like I said, that.
Right. So I'll just let you know that now. Because he was picked by, the older generation that have seen him play. There was no doubt about it. The first name that came out of their mouth was Jimmy Greaves. Do you know what I mean? But because, like I say, because it was from basically 17, 18 years old all the way up to, I don't want to name people, but, 65, let's say. Do you know what I mean? It was a wide range, but he didn't make the final 11.
It's only going to be people that are like 65 that are going to have Jimmy Greaves, though, isn't it?
Maybe. I think there was like 6 or 7 people that picked him, but it weren't enough for him to get into the final.
Because like I couldn't pick Jimmy Greaves because I think he'd left by the time I was born.
Yeah, same for me.
And to be honest, he left by the time you were born.
Well, I don't remember him.
Exactly.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So I tried to keep it to players that I'd seen, but I still ain't done mine yet, Brian. I think I will do mine, and I will be the 30th one, I think.
There you
go. He didn't get in. He just because of the spectrum of the age, he didn't get in. But listen, it was a wonderful thing to do at the time. It just dragged on for too long. I wanted to get it finished by a certain time with a certain amount of people that are, done their shows and didn't get as far as I wanted to. But we will do it. We will do it. We've got a lot of things that we need to do on this channel. We've got a shirt draw to do as well.
Yeah.
That was for 1,000 subscribers. We're still trying to work out how to get the spinny wheel on. Yeah, so that when people are in, their names will get added to it and all that thing. So
there's one for StreamYard, so I can show you.
We will be doing that though as well. We haven't forgot that we've got to give the 1,000 subscriber shirt away. We know people.
I will say there's definitely one, and if I can't remember how to do it, I know Ben Kaufman does because we did it for our Euro. What was the last Euro? 2024.
Yeah, it would have been.
Euro 2024.
Yeah.
So we did
and the Wheel of Corruption to pick the Italian team.
Oh yes, and yes, the Wheel
Yes,
of
the Wheel of Corruption. I remember that.
the Wheel of Corruption. So Ben definitely knows how to corrupt the wheel.
But I'll be in well, as long as you don't say fix my bloody roads, I'll be in contact with him.
Yeah, he definitely knows. He definitely knows how to do it.
Well, just so everyone knows, we haven't forgotten about it. All right,
No.
as you all well know, I don't know how you should say the technical area. I don't want to be rude, Mark, but I will make it better. Thick and thicker. So we keep asking favours from people a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know? And we do, Mark, don't we? We ask Nige quite regular. Can you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's other people as well. And sometimes, Brian, I just don't want to ask people. Do you know what I mean? Because I think I'm taking the piss.
Mate, no, Mark. This is right. You two. This is what you got to remember. This is what we're all here for.
Yeah, I know you are,
mate. Do you know what? And when we started, any advice, anything we needed, I'm very, and Ben is as well. We're very fortunate to just be able to make a call to We Are Tottenham TV. They'll appear, they'll do stuff. When I started doing Cockerel Doodle Doo, one of the guys at We Are Tottenham TV made all the thumbnails. It's what it's all about. There's certain things. Even today, I used to have YouTube Studio for Tottenham on Tour, but I signed myself out of it. I kept it separate. Ben has to do all that. Ben, all the stuff. I give him things to put on the community section, but Ben does it all. Ben, this is what it is. It's a partnership between you two, like it's with me and Ben. But the great part of it, like when you go to Nigel or Dan, or you come to us, can you come on a show? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. There's things in general where people are stronger than others, and asking for help. All good, MC Noodles. All good, brother. And thanks for your support and watching the show at 3 a.m, bro. That's what it's all about. You know what? We YouTube takes a lot. People that are YouTubers or Spurs, because we're so close to the Spurs YouTube and part of it, a lot of it comes under a lot of slack and, oh my God, these YouTubers or blah, blah, blah. But they don't realise that once you become part of it, they don't see everything that goes on behind the scenes.
No.
They don't see how often we all talk to each other. They don't see what we're. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of. It's like being in the Freemasons. If someone knows something, they can help you with.
Oh yeah,
and that's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it.
It is. Yeah, I'll get it, Brian. I'll get it. Do you know what? It just seems like every time I do a stream, though, I'm asking Mark, can you do? Or if it's not Mark, it's Nige, can you do? And I know we have this sort of agreement between us. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Mark's at work, so I'm the talker, if you like. Mark sets the shows up and does all that type of business and all them things. And then anything that he can't do, he'll ring Nige and say, Nige, can you? Or if he don't ring him, I'll ring him and Nige, can you? Do you know what I mean? And it's just, there's wonderful people. Everyone is, Brian. I don't dispute that. It's just sometimes you just think to yourself, it'd be great to put a stream on, where you could put your own thumbnail in properly. I know Mark can do that, but if we haven't got one and we want something different, we're on the phone to Nige. Can you? This is what I want, Nige. Yeah. Within 10 minutes, Brian, the thumbnail's in the WhatsApp group to pass on to Mark.
No, I'll tell you now, thumbnails used to be my biggest pet peeve. I couldn't stand them. Ben would do them or Brian Ireland would do them. Then I'm like, can you get it to me before this time? Can you do it for me that time? And as Ben just put, mate, the late night Lily Whites, I said to Ben, I want a few variations of them. And then I thought, wait a minute, let me try and chat GPT. I typed in what I wanted, bang. I don't need Ben for thumbnails anymore. If it's very, very specific and I can't get ChatGPT to do it, I'll tell Ben what I want and he'll knock one up very, very quickly. But you literally just type in what you need. And look, my late night Lily White ones were done by me just on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Wonderful world. It's a wonderful world.
Yeah.
Well, I tried ChatGPT And I couldn't get the damn thing to work. It just kept trying to generate that, and it, like an hour later, it was still going. I think I must have pressed something wrong.
You just got to be patient.
Yeah.
That's what they do, and then they say if you want this to be done quicker, upgrade to Pro.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I thought it was some con that you had to pay for it.
ChatGPT, you can get, I think it's 3 to 5 photos every 24 hours. And when I say every 24 hours, I don't mean Friday. Let's just say you did an image right now, Mark, right this second at 10:32 your time. You've got 24 hours until 10:32 the next day that you can do 3, 4, I think maybe 5 tops. But then at 10:32 it will reset itself. And then when you do your first picture after 10:32 tomorrow, that's when the 24 hours starts again.
I was going to say, like I did one that I wanted doing, and it just kept spinning and spinning. After 10 minutes, I got bored and cancelled it.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
I ain't got no patience to wait for it.
Buddy, so many people. You think about how many people use things like WhatsApp or I would say WhatsApp and ChatGPT. There are millions of people using it at the same time around the world, like at exactly the same time.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Just take a bit of time.
I ain't got the patience for that. If it ain't done yesterday, listen, I don't want to know.
We'll get there. Like I said, we know we need to do some upgrades for next season, if you know what I mean. Let's hope Tottenham do similar upgrades.
We go to championships, so all your revenue gets halved.
Yeah.
You'll be like, right, we've got to do some cost cutting here.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately for us, Brian, right, we are on. This is the cost-cutting exercise. There's no added extras here, mate.
Exactly.
So, you know, we've got to somehow try and move the bar up, even if it's slightly to the next level. If you know, I think we have anyway. You know, and I think it's only fair that we should do that. These people are in here, Brian, every single day. There's 100 people in here now. You know, I sit here and I look at that thing up there. It just catches my eye sometimes over the last few weeks. And I think, I can't believe there's 100 people sitting here watching us or me or you or whoever it is. Do you know what I mean? And I just think it's great. And I just hope it keeps growing and keeps growing. Listen, I've said it many times, the chat make the show. At the end of the day, we try and involve everyone, whether nowadays it's on the brunch, like Mark said today, you come on the fan call-in show tonight. You know, it's all about you tonight, and I'm going to mention that again now. Why there is 100 of you in here still, right? Tonight, 7:30, the pre-match fan call-in show. Come on and have your say about Spurs, whether it's about Wolves tomorrow, Tottenham in general, the board, the players, the go-kart track, I don't care, the trumpet player. Come on and have your say. Get it off your chest. Yeah, it might make you feel a bit bad. Don't mean you've got to come on here and rant and rave and whatever. Yeah? Come and say your piece. You're welcome at the end of the day. We won't say any more about it.
All I'll say is, though, we can only get 10 people on screen at once.
Obviously, yeah.
And so, if millions of you want to come on, then there will have to be rotation.
As The Rock would say, Brian. What would he say, Brian?
The millions.
A millions!
Well, the good thing is,
millions.
I got sent a message yesterday that today, this evening, The Rock is back on SmackDown. So that's I said to Alana as soon as I found out, it's like, well, I'm watching the wrestling tonight. She goes, why? I just sent her showed her the picture saying The Rock's there. She goes, okay, cool. I ain't missing that.
He's back. He's coming back on SmackDown.
Apparently tonight he's there.
Listen, you know how it works.
The conference just said it's fake.
Ben's just why? But Ben, why would you do this to me?
Yeah.
Or is it a double bluff?
What's he done, Brian? I'm not that far down the chat.
25 to 6 in the morning, you've ruined his day.
Oh,
oh, don't worry. Me and him are doing a dual stream at 2 p.m. your time. So
interesting.
So we'll have a off-screen, off-air domestic before we start. So if it seems hostile when me and Ben start this morning or this afternoon for you, you'll know that we've had a domestic over The Rock.
Oh,
I ain't got
Ben
that
has
far
just sent
down
me
in
a
the chat
photo.
yet. I've got to say. I'm gonna go down there. Is there something in the chat? Is there? Yeah, where's Ben? Let's say hello to Ben.
It was right. No,
you go.
Ben,
Hello,
come
Ben.
on. I've just seen the picture you sent me.
Don't know what you're talking about, you lot.
I'll send it to you.
Ben, I know he ain't. Ben. What I'm saying is, Ben, that if we was a proper football club, yeah, you would go and invest in that type of player, right? And then build your team around, not necessarily him, but around the structure of what he brings to the game. Do you know what I mean? But Tottenham ain't that. We just don't do it. And my point I was making, Ben, was the amount of money that's been wasted over the years, right, to get to where we are now. Yeah, when if they would have had that, everything would have been aligned. Everyone knew what they was doing from top to bottom. And I don't have to tell you, Ben, you know this. You go every week, right? That it would have been different and they would have saved an awful lot of money. But, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day, isn't it? And we are where we are. Chaps, I still ain't got to the bottom of the chat. How do you see it going tomorrow? And before we get to that point, do you see any changes, or would you like? I'll tell you what. I'll ask it this way: Does Zerbi make any changes from the team against Brighton, or what would your changes be, if any? There you go. I thought I'd make that question quite complex.
Yeah, we did all right against Brighton, isn't it? It's just them brain fart moments.
So, would you play a Paulinho this weekend?
I'd have played him. I'd have played him every game that he's available for.
Who are you dropping? It's only one of two, isn't it? You're either leaving Bentancur out or you're leaving Basuma out.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
I do like Biss as well, and Bents did well.
Right. There is a way round it, Brian. Just play, Mark. You just play one up. You play one up, and have one in your midfield. Do you know what I mean? So there is a way round it. The 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you could play Paulinho and have Bentancur with him there. You could still have Basuma in the team to drive the ball forward. When you was talking about earlier, Paulinho winning the ball, Biss makes himself available. He progresses the ball up to Simmons or whoever, and Richie, whoever, and maybe do it that way.
Yeah. I've always rated because do you remember when I think it's when Andrew was here, we were all screaming on and on and on. We need a 6. We need a 6.
Yeah.
It was just after the channel started, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And every show, we need a 6. We need a 6. We need a 6. And now we got one that don't play him. Oh, hang on. Ben's asking you to check your phone.
Oh.
It's at the bottom of the chat. You won't be able to see it.
All right. Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, me.
Yeah. So he must have sent you a WhatsApp, I reckon. And so we were all screaming out for a 6. Now we got one. You've obviously seen the picture sent to me. Yeah. Let's derail the show immediately.
Sorry, that's cracking that, Ben. I love that. I'd see what I mean. How quick he's knocked that up. Yeah, that's mad. That is mad.
Honestly, I forget what I was saying. Let's put me off now. I was about Paulinho, wasn't I? Yeah, I played Paulinho.
Yeah. Go on, Paulinho. You was talking about Paulinho. So if you play Paulinho, Mark, thinking about the team last week, I don't know if Brian's itching to get in here or not because.
I'll wait. It's funny you say that. I have actually got an itch and I'm scratching my leg. But I will go. That's why I'm a little bit down here. But yeah, I'll go after Mark.
Good. So Mark, just in your head, your ideal formation and midfield? What you going? A 4-4-2, a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3? What? How are you going?
4-2-3-1.
That's how I would play it as well.
Yeah.
Just so everyone
Yeah.
knows. I'd only play one up.
In there.
Listen, I'd only play one up, right? Sorry, Brian, and whatever. They're all fucking useless.
Oh, our forwards are.
Right? The forwards are useless. All of them. I've never seen a trio of Premiership players or Premiership level players that can't even hold a ball up.
No.
I watch every other team centre forward, and even if they're crap, yeah, they can hold a ball up, they can shield a ball, they can give someone 2 or 3 seconds to get there. Well, we can't even do that, and that's why I'm saying, you know what? Play one up, play Richie up on his own, right, and then 4-2-3-1, and do it that way.
The thing is with Richie,
we'll have a lot more success.
The thing is with Richie, he's got a worse touch than me when it comes to football. Honestly, every time he gets a ball, bounces off him. And
bounces off all of them, Mark.
And him with scoring goals, if he's got time to think about it, he's stuffed. If it's an instinctive finish, like he's got a split second to think about it, bang, it's in the net.
Yeah.
If he's got, I remember there was a game. It was a while ago. He got put through 1-on-1, and I knew he wouldn't score. You give that to Kane or Son, that was a goal. You know, but this is how far the club have dropped. We had Kane and Son in their prime. Well, maybe not Kane. He's probably in his prime now. But like, we had Kane and Son, 50 goals a season guaranteed between them, and now we've gone to this rubbish we got now. And that's for spending all of the Kane money and the Son money and probably a bit more. You know, it's shocking, really. But that's what it is. I mean, personally, I'd get rid of all 3 of them.
They're all crap.
They are,
sorry,
mate,
I don't mean to be harsh, right? Look, you know me on here, right? They're all professional footballers at the end of the day. None of them, right? None of them. And I get, well, we're not playing well. We're not doing this. Look, I'm taking all that into account. We can all sit here and say, well, he runs around. And he runs around. Yeah. Perhaps for some of them, that's their job. Run around, make things difficult for others. I get it. Right. But we can't keep saying with our strikers who don't score, don't create nothing or nothing of what we should be creating, right, on a regular basis. None of them score goals, or not enough goals in Rich's case. Solanke looks like he was that one season wonder.
Yeah, and we bought him for 60 million.
Right, we bought Richie for 60 odd million as well.
Rubbish, mate.
Do you know what I mean? It's got to change one way or the other.
I would say there's probably better strikers in the academy.
Brian, go on, mate.
So, first of all, whether he's fit or allegedly looking for women of the night, I don't want Vicario anywhere near there. I want Kinski for the rest of the season, and that was before yesterday's story. I think it's obvious that it's either going to be, I hope it's Sousa playing left back instead of Destiny. I don't want Spencer Dino there. Midfield
unbalances the team, Brian, doesn't it?
Yeah,
because he's
exactly.
right-footed on the left side.
Exactly.
As good as a defender that he is, when we do get down that side, you know what's going to happen every time, Brian, don't you? He's going to check back.
Correct.
Sorry
Correct.
to bat him, mate.
That's right. Paulinho straight in for Basuma. You got to remember when we had Frank and people were bitching and moaning, and I was one of them about that Paulinho and Bentancur combination. We can't lose. Like we have to win, but we can't lose. And Bentancur and Paulinho will shut up shop. And I think Gallagher will start.
Yeah, didn't even mention Gallagher, by the way. Yeah,
against Brighton. And I saw Ghosted. I don't know if Ghosted is here, and he was saying, don't change the team. There's going to have to be changes because of destiny and whatever. But I don't want we need to create, and Mawani and Solanke just aren't doing it. So up front, Xavi again on the left,
Yeah.
Richie in the centre, and Tell on the right. So my full team is. I'm giving away content here for our show that's coming up at 9, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Hey, look, the predicted lineup. I could go on a million shows. It's going to be the same.
Yeah.
So it'll be Kinski, Porro, Danso, Van de Ven, Souza, Bentancur, Paulinho, Gallagher, Xavi, Solanke, but Richarlison, Tell. It's my starting lineup.
Fair play. There you go. And I'm not far away from that. To be fair, I've got to say, right, as good as Bentancur was for the 60 minutes, and for a fella that's been out of the game for so long, right, with two, his injuries have been quite horrendous, really, when you think about it, right? For him to come in like he did last week, and for me, best game I've seen him have in a Spurs shirt for a very long time. It was almost a bit like the old Bentancur, the Bentancur we knew before he got injured, that in not consistently, but, you'd have a couple of games and you'd think, wow, this geezer can play football. He might have them 3 dreadful games, but
yep,
he's got something about him. Do you know what I mean? And again, he showed that little bit of movement, coming back, even when he was coming back to get the ball from Kinski, and they was doing the little triangle to get out. Yeah. Yep. We missed all that. We weren't doing all that sort of stuff when he weren't in the team. You can't rely on Basuma to do it because he don't like facing the goalie. It's as simple as that. That's why we call him a box-to-box 8. Yeah, because he'll take the ball from the defender, the DM, and move you up the pitch. That's what he does. All these players have got different. We all wished that they had all these facets, different facets to their game. So some players have got more than one facet to their game. Yeah, but some are just very good at what they do. Yeah, and Basuma's good at breaking play up and moving the ball forward, physically running with the ball to get you up the pitch. What the end product is after that is a different story, right? But that's just my point of view, Vada. Listen, I know Basuma's had his problems at the club, right? Yep. Whether they're self-inflicted or not, well, we know they are, right? But, he is one of our more experienced midfielders, Brian, and I have seen bits and pieces throughout the week since Basuma played at the weekend. Oh, I don't want him in the team. What's he going to do? What would both of your answers be to that right now?
I don't want Basuma. You just never know what Basuma you're going to get. And I don't think he did anything really. Bentancur and Gallagher, I thought, did really well last week. Basuma did okay. But I don't want to take any risks because tomorrow, an away day where you need people to stand, I think Paulinho and Bentancur. I can see Basuma coming on for Bentancur in the second half.
Yeah.
I'd rather have him off the bench coming on when we know if we need to see out the game or what we're doing, rather than having him on the pitch. But I'm also one of the ones that say, look, in the summer, and right now I want players that are committed to Tottenham that know they're going to be here or whatever it may be, that know, or let's just say they don't know for sure they're leaving. I just don't want to start him. I don't. If you told me, put it this way, if you told me we got the Basuma for the first 10 games of Ange, absolutely one of the first on the team sheet. If you told me it was the Basuma from the Europa League final, absolutely not even a question. But you just don't know which one you're going to get. You just don't know. So it would be Bentancur and Paulinho for me.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play. Listen, it's we can all say what we think. At the end of the day, it's down to the boss Roberto to put these players on the pitch.
I'll just jump in, mate.
Go on.
The Coffer's asked for the link.
Of course he could come in.
Yes. Well, that's what I said to him. He said, "Can I join you?"
Yeah, of course he
I
can.
said, "Of course."
Of course he can. Give it to him. Do you want me to put? Have you given it to him? Yeah, has he got it?
Yeah, I've sent it to him.
All right, sweet. I was just going to say I'll put it in the bottom of the chat, but beware, everyone. The mod father is coming on.
Oh, is he? It's going to be the 2 Marks and the 2 Bs.
That's it.
Yes.
Here we go. So beware. Watch out. Coffee's about. He's floating.
Yeah, do you know what? We might have our Rocks domestic live on your show.
Why not?
You'll see how the other side live.
Well, that's it. And then I can all go and make me next cup of coffee then while you two are at it. Do you know what I mean? And I'll leave Ed Tech in charge.
Mate, I'm going to need to go on the coffee after the show to make sure I don't fall asleep before our show.
You've got to set that alarm, Bri.
In fact,
you've got to set it, mate, on the old phone.
Right now. I'm going to set an alarm.
You've got to, mate, in case you drop off. You've got to. I'm the same in the morning, mate. Yeah, I'm the same in the morning, especially if I'm awake at 6, because I feel wide awake. Yep. Yeah, and I might have only had 3.5 or 4 hours, Kip. And, you know, within an hour, you can feel yourself dropping off again. And I'm like, look, Mark, get up, sort yourself out, have a wander around, you know what I mean? And, you know, go wash your face and whatever else. But it has happened, Brian. It has happened.
Oh, mate, I've done it before.
I was at work one day. I was at work one day and we had a quiet, like 10 minutes. I'll just check in on the brunch. What's going on? Say hello. Not even started. and then after I had a nightmare this morning, Matt, buddy. Didn't wake up. Is that the one where you started like half hour late or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, listen, I you never seen a geezer move so quick that it's got so many ailments. I'm telling you. I woke up and I thought, the alarm's not going off. What's going on? And I've looked at the phone, yeah, and it says 20 to 10. My God. So I've legged it in here. None of this was on, so I've had to wait for this to boot up. And there's still people in the chat. They're all taking the piss out of me, aren't they? I bet he's fell asleep and all that. But it was all in good fun, to be fair. The chat was miles long. It went on forever where they was just all talking to each other. And I thought, well, look, I'm awake now, so we better get on with it, haven't we? So I'm just, you know, mate, I'm like this. And I've hit the go button and the tune's played and I'm sort of going and I'm still wiping myself down with the wet wipe things as we're going on air. Madness, mate. But there you go. It does happen. It does happen.
Yeah.
And,
I will say, Ross, what you've just spoken about would be a normal topic on the Coffee Company channel, that's for sure. When we're not talking football, that show can go anywhere and everywhere.
Oh yeah,
anywhere and everywhere on the Coffee channel. Any
direction on the Coffees, any direction at all, and that's what everyone loves about it, Brian, isn't it?
Damn right.
Yeah, I'm a bit gutted really because I haven't watched one of your shows for ages. It's either I'm still at work or just finishing driving home.
Mate, we did a show when we got our 2 cats. We had 2 shows dedicated to thinking of names for my cats.
I saw them. I did see them. There was also
Coffee Company like that. Like we had today, we spoke a bit about parents and romance or this and that and nostalgia. Sometimes it's good to break away just for a bit from the doom and gloom that we've had to deal with. So, but yeah, it's always good to talk Spurs, just not a nice time to talk Spurs right now.
No, you're not wrong. And here he is. We've given him the grand entrance. And,
morning.
Mr. Coffin's in the house. How are you, Ben?
I'm good because the sheriff finally got round to fixing the roads. So the roads are all fixed. He finally did it.
All done, mate. You come to
it's all done. All the potholes have been filled, which means they'll be broken within 2 minutes. But still, at least for a glorious 5 minutes, we will have our tyres. We will have tyres.
The roads in Dorset are fine.
Well, the roads in Loughton are fine now because they've all been filled finally.
That was nothing to do with me. I'm not going all up there.
I mean, it was. I saw it. I've shown you the picture, Mark. There is actual photo. There's photo evidence of you fixing the roads, and you even put them in a West Country accent. It was very kind of you.
There you go.
So, but yeah, it's I think it's always nice to have a show where we don't have to be a bit doom. I know it is doom and gloom, but whatever we say, we can be as red in the face and we can complain as much as we want. We're never going to be able to change anything, and that's one of the things I've learned over the last year. And Brian will know. Brian and I have probably been on the majority of the protests, as it were. And I say now that I'm a retired protester. I won't go to another protest because exactly that.
You will do if I start something up next season.
Well, it's very difficult to start a protest, Brian, when you're in Canada.
It is, but he has got people here that he can. Don't worry.
I know Brian he's almost like Danhausen, where he runs away and then the light fades to back. It's Dagelhausen.
Mate,
Dagelhausen.
I said it. If Lange is still here after the World Cup, Lange and Kell, or if Lange and Vinay are still there at the end of the World Cup, I will be in London.
But it's I don't see a point now. I don't see a point of protesting because I've got so many much more important things in my life now. Like I've got I'm in a month. I'm going to have 2 coffee shops that I've got to run on my own self. I've got to do them both on my own. I don't have anyone to help me. I don't have any members of my family who can jump in and make and sell cups of coffee for me. I've got to do it all myself from 7 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. I've got to do it all. So Tottenham it's gonna have to go on the back foot for me. It's now Tottenham doesn't really, and this is the true victory of Enoch because none of us really care anymore, do we?
No.
We're all so numb. We're all so numb to it as the legacy fans. We should all have a badge. And legacy fans.
I'm back. The only reason I'm back is not to talk about games, which I will do, like preview and review shows. It's not why I'm back. It's not why I'm back on YouTube.
But for me, I'm so numb. I'm so numb to the situation, and we won't achieve anything. Mate, we won't achieve anything because, as you've said, Brian, Spurs fans will say, "Oh, look, I'm going to be there next week. Hot diggity, I'm going to be there." They all put on a 1920s New York, hot diggity, I'm going to be there, sir. And they don't turn up.
Well,
they don't turn up.
This is the thing, Ben. I'm going to be putting something on a plate for everyone with a couple of people.
No, you could put it on a plate. You put it on a plate. So the amount of times you put it on a plate for people and they still didn't. The only reason they turned up was they turned up to sing Kumbaya when it's now too late.
Like I said,
it's too late.
The thing that's in the works with me and a couple of people is going to be completely different to everything else. We spoke about it quite a bit on the 2 Mark shows when I came on after Stell's show. There is a lot of work going in. There's going to be membership. Don't pour water on it. It's going to get done professionally. I'm not
pouring water on it. But what I'm saying is, Brian, and you would probably agree with me, the fan base is so divided.
Yeah, but
you will never build a bridge between people now. The only way you will never be able to build a bridge. The only people that are going to turn up to one of, let's say I come out of protest retirement, the only people that are going to turn up to one of our protests are the hardcore protesters. So it's going to be the same 25 of us. So it's going to be Phil P's entire family. It's going to be us 2. It's going to be Stell if he's in the country. It's going to be Graham and Ryan. The people that want to be, they don't want to be there for actual change at the football club. They want to be there to be seen. They want to put it on their social media to say, "Look at me, I'm doing something." But they actually don't want to do anything. It's a chocolate teapot. Their social media and support is a chocolate teapot. It's useless.
Ben,
it's useless.
What's coming in store is going to be completely different to everything else. It is going to be organised. There are certain things we're doing that no one else has done. There's going to be certain things. There is going to be a complete mission that when we come out and we announce it that this is happening, there is going to be, as you know, our lot would never back down. If sing up sharp, stay up. Well,
the maximum people we had, Brian, was 100 people.
Finished, bro. If the people that have said show up, sing up, stay up, whatever the combination is, had come to us if we were still going and said, "Can you postpone it?" They would have been given 2 words, and the second word would either have been off or you. I think you can all work out what the first word would have been. It's going to be completely handled different. There is one mission and one mission only. Enoch and the board out. End of. There's no word change in this. It is one message, one thing. We ain't stopping. And you watch.
I just don't think Spurs have got the appetite for it. They don't care. The only thing Spurs fans care about is a nice cold beer, eating some crap food, a comfortable chair, and then a bit of delusion. I think Spurs fans, and we've seen it over the last year. And I'm not going to dig in Tottenham fans too much. But how many Spurs fans big up the dross we've got? They big up the dross that we've got. Look how good Bergvall is. But I like Bergvall. He's a good kid. But does he get in any of the top 10 teams in the league?
No.
No, probably not.
We're bigging up Spurs. Big up Championship players. We've got. This is me going at the Spurs fan base. Spurs fans have the worst talent IQ of any Premier League football club. The worst talent IQ. We've had some of the greatest players play for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And yet we rate players like Odegaard. We rate players like Matisse Tell. We rate players like Bergvall. We rate players like Jed Spence. And when they're not good in a certain position, they can do a job there. Porro can do a job up front. No, he can't. Buy players that are good. We don't buy good players. We rate absolute crap. We rate shit. Like Van der Ven, and we've all said it, and I've been guilty of it as well. Van der Ven doesn't lace the boots of someone like not even a Jonathan Woodgate. He doesn't lace the boots of a Jonathan Woodgate, and yet we're bigging him up as world class, £90 million. Like, it's an insult to talk about Mickey Van der Ven. It's an insult to talk about Mickey Van der Ven in the same way you talk about a Gary Mabbott, for example. It's an insult. It's an insult to talk about a Romero in the ways of a Ledley King, of a Toby Alderweireld, of a Jan Vertonghen. They're just crap. They're crap. And more people need to be saying that Christian Romero, QT Romero, needs to be known as the worst Tottenham captain in history. He's just the worst. They're shit. They're crap. There's no point. Because until Tottenham fans understand what a good football player is, we won't go at the board, because the board keep on signing these players and they wrap them in a cotton blouse. There we go, darling. We'll back you. We've seen it. Look at Chelsea fans. They've had one really bad season, and they're already going at the book already in their thousands.
Yeah, I was going to say there's thousands of them.
Spurs fans have been shit for years, and we still won't protest. We're still singing Kumbaya and chanting an empty bus.
So Ben, what do we do to change that? There must be something, because you know it. So when you go, but Ben, when you, for argument's sake, I don't want to bring politics into it, and I'm not going to, right? But let's say, for argument's sake, Labour are in government now, yeah, and everything that's going on in the world. I know it's a different situation because we're just talking about Tottenham Hotspur, but whatever's going on with our government, and people go, do you know what? I've had enough of this now. We're going to vote for Joe Bloggs, whoever it might be, yeah? And then change occurs.
The
Right.
difference is, Cookie, we can vote for the government. We can't physically vote for who's in charge of ENIC. We can't physically vote. It's a private company. And as someone that does believe in private enterprise, because at the end of the day, private enterprise is what keeps this country going.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons, again, I won't lean into politics, but it's one of the reasons I had my almighty rant yesterday about VAT. Because VAT at 20% is crippling this country. It's crippling the country because there's so many rules. I won't have the rant because I already had the rant yesterday. No one can afford to go out to eat now. So everyone's cooking at home because no one can afford to go out to eat. Because, like, for example, there are 9 people in my family.
Yeah.
Every time we go out to eat, it's minimum 250, £300.
Yeah.
So we have to eat at home. And now the local government are now saying, if you want to put your food waste out, you've got to have this tiny bin to put all your food waste in for 9 people. For 9 people. And if you put your food waste in the bin, you get £1,000 fine. So there's another tax on top of it. But you can vote for your government, you can vote for your local councillor, and you can't vote for ENIC.
But there's got to be a way, Ben, just going back to the protest thing, right? There's got to be a way. Things die, right? I get that. You know, the protest thing, Spurs fans haven't really ever been invested in it apart from a couple of protests where a couple of thousand people turned up, right? There's got to be a way because I'm sure, Ben, and I just think there's a lot of people that either don't know what's going on at Tottenham and they just go for the football, have a day out, take the kids, go home. Yeah, what did you think?
That is the mentality of Tottenham fans. That is the mentality. It is a day out now.
Let me take this one from you, Mark, and just say, look, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. When we did our protests that I was part of, the group I was with, the group Ben joined in with, we started it all off as in outside the club shop, the training ground. We did it when it wasn't the fashionable thing to do. We did it when it started kicking off or started getting a bit of momentum. Wasn't the momentum of masses or what we wanted, but during that time, especially myself, Graham and Ryan at the training ground, when it started to like 3 or 4 of us and it built and built and built, we took so much online abuse.
Yeah.
And oh look, there's only 3 of them. Oh yeah, really big, but I'm sure Inic can get. And I was like, do you know what? Yeah, we're taking some abuse, but the great thing was, and people didn't work it out, is the people that were slamming us when I put a picture out were retweeting it and sending it out to all their people that didn't agree with us. So it was getting traction. Don't get me wrong, it didn't make a major difference or anything, but we stood there and took all the lumps, not physically, I mean verbally, online, piss taken out of us about the amount of people there. We missed one major thing, which was how Change for Tottenham did the media. We missed that bit, and that was a massive thing that they did superbly. I will never knock what they did to get it out into the media. Then what we can learn from what Change for Tottenham did is the media is a massive component of it. And if you got the right people promoting it and going about it and speaking about it the way they did to get the attention of the masses, they did that a lot better than what we did. But what they didn't do anywhere close to what we did is they cancelled, they backed down. If they did polls and didn't get the numbers, they're like, oh no, the numbers aren't there. We don't want to do it and look silly. We did it despite looking silly because we kept saying we need the numbers to make it bigger, and we had more plans to do more things, but we needed new people.
Yeah.
So now when myself and the 2 others do this, like I was speaking on your show when I came on this week, we're going to have someone that's going to be PR and will communicate via all social media platforms and we're going to build a website as well. So we're going to have that. So there'll be constant communication, not like if you look at Change for Spurs' social media feed, they haven't posted anything. And they've posted one thing since the show up, sing up, stay up, and that was to say we've looked at the accounts that released, and that's it. That's it. There's been no review of the sing up, sharp, stay up. There's been no. They've just gone quiet. They've just gone dormant. So when they do pick up again, they're gonna be like, "Well, where the fuck have you been? We blah blah blah." So when we do the thing we do, like I said on your channels, both of you, Mark, that there's going to be PR. We're going to do this with chairman of the board members. We're going to get people that will know stuff that we can legally and can't. So every single, and it's not just going to be, oh, I'm leaving you out. I'm not going to go, right, you three, you're really dear friends of mine. Ben, I'm going to make you chairman. Mark, vice chairman, and Cookie, you're going to, you know, what I mean,
don't make the sheriff chairman because you'll ban sugar instantly.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to get the serious point of this, Ben. It needs to be done correctly. It needs to be done right, and it's why. Do you remember when we said, Cookie, that we're thinking of doing it on a big up, Ronnie brother, that we're thinking of doing a subscription, whether it be monthly or and we said, would people be prepared to pay £10 a month? And all of it will be documented. It will all go to banners or flyers or whatever it may be, balloons, whatever we come up with ideas with. Will people be prepared to do it? And we said £10 a year. A lot of them said I'll do £10 a month, because the only way you're going to get people, and you can the way we've done it and Change for Spurs, they just go, we'll be here at this time. If you want to join in, be there, and you never know what you're going to get. And this isn't just going to be, like I said, for people in the UK. Look, a lot of it's going to be resources to go to London and match days and blah blah blah. But if we can get worldwide to help here with North America and whatever, and people, when you buy in, you know you've got the numbers. If people are prepared to go, right, here's the amount of money per month, per year, whatever, which way we decide to do it, you've got the vested interest. So what we will be doing, I think we're having our first meeting. I think I can't remember if it's next week or the week after, where we're getting everything. The website's getting looked into, the domain, everything. Not going to give away any names, anything. Everything is going to be built correctly. So when we are ready to go, it won't just, hey, we're doing protest next season. Come and join us. They will be on the website. This is our mission. This is our vision. This is what we aim to do. There is no backing down. If anyone comes to us and say, "Oh, can you stop doing that?" or like I said, I want that stadium, Leeds game, to feel. I want Charlie, Vivian, Lange, and Vinay to feel like when Sol Campbell came back to the lane. That's how hostile I want it to be the next two home games. And you hear people going, "Oh, we got to support the team and get behind them." Well, if people remember that game when Judas came back and I was there, that atmosphere was as hostile, toxic. It was like a powder keg against our bitterest rivals that were night and day above us. And that complete hostile atmosphere dragged them through, and we got a last-minute equaliser. We didn't have back then the players going, "Oh no, you can't scream and go for the board because it will upset the players." Well, we tried this cheering on thing. We lost to Forest. The away fans do what the away fans do. The away fans are the backbone of everything. I just wish they all sat together in the stadium at home. Do what they do. You heard them non-stop at Sunderland. And don't get me wrong, the atmosphere was absolutely superb against Brighton from what I could hear for a majority of the game. But I've got no problem with that. But then when the full-time whistle went, and there wasn't even one ENIAC out chant or whatever, it was just...
There never will be.
Mate, there has been before and there will be again. It's just the acceptance. People want to back the team. I've got no issue with that. But it doesn't mean you can't do both. It doesn't mean you can't do both. That's the way I look at it. And I've been there with the dark times of Sugar. I've been there, obviously, with the dark times of Levy. Scholar was I wouldn't have realised I was too young. You can do both. There's a happy medium, and the way you're going to do it is having this
It's the way they will stop. I'm not pouring water on the plans, Brian, because they are good plans. But you know what Spurs will do if Spurs go down and we put these plans in place? The first thing Spurs will do is keep the ticket price the same, because the regular fans that don't want to go again will just not go. So the only people that will go are the people with mass amounts of money, like someone said in the chat, the prawn sandwich brigade, that have the money, and they go out because they see it as a day. They don't go to watch the football. They see it as a day out. They go out there, they have a lovely pizza, they have a beer that fills up from the bottom, they have a lovely this, they have some lovely cakes, they have some Twix, they have all these lovely things. Those people won't protest. They barely sing a word in the stadium, and it deeply frustrates me because and I know it shouldn't be a gripe I have, but as the moment Graham turned me onto it, it's made me angrier and it's angrier and it's angrier. Every time I go into the stadium, there's a load of noise in the south stand. They get into the stadium, they don't make a sound the entire game. So those turnstiles are the most supported turnstiles in the world. Those turnstiles must feel really good about them. So it's not support the team, it's support the turnstiles, because they're all they charm. They don't. The moment they get in the stadium, they don't support the team. The moment they do that for their social media clicks and they put all the little views of them chanting towards the turnstiles on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram and TikTok, and then they go and have a lovely pizza. It's a day out. It's afternoon tea on the lawn. That's what they treat Spurs as. It's afternoon tea in the bowls. They might as well be playing bowls because it's silent for the majority of the time. They'll just fill the stadium with those people.
So yeah, I'm going to retort this now. Now, like I said, first of all, next season, if we do go down, should we go down, they can't keep the tickets at the same price. So that eliminates that immediately. They just
It's Tottenham we're talking about. This is Tottenham we're talking about.
When you go down to they can't do it. They can't do it. You go down to the Championship, you can't charge those prices. You cannot charge those prices. And even if they did, there'd be uproar. That would actually cause uproar. But what I am saying to you is I've said it from the beginning, and I've said it. There's been times where I've said, you know what, I can't do this anymore with the ball because I've fought and fought and fought. But you know what? Who am I kidding saying that I'm going to give up? I will never, ever give up. And as when they say it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Well, for me, with this subject, I would much rather go, do you know what? I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried and I failed. I failed. And I refuse to give up, especially now that I have my nephews growing up and loving football. I don't want my nephews to have to witness the breakdown that we've seen and the erosion of the football club that we once stood for and had. So, like I said, you keep trying. They keep saying, what is it? The definition of insanity is trying the same things over and over again and expecting the same results. Well, I learned loads of stuff from the group I was with and Ben was with tried. I've learned loads of stuff from what Change for Spurs did and what they did. And then it's fine-tuning. And like I said, with this, when we do it, we are going to get the right people on board that aren't just our friends of friends and let's do this and let's do that because you're a mate of mine and I'm going to give you... It's going to be run, and I hate to refer to them, but it's going to be run like the Trust. Like where it's a proper organised thing, where it's not just a bunch of mates meeting outside the stadium. There's going to be proper roles with proper people that know these roles, that are prepared to give their time and effort to do so, that feel passionately about it. And like I said, this isn't just about the home fan base. Once I get North America doing what I have planned, that's going to cause major controversy because the Americans or North Americans will stand up, and people in different countries that always have wanted to protest. And you see them go, what can the international fan do? What can the international... Well, there's a lot the international fan base can do. rather than just retweeting, reposting, recommenting, sharing stuff in WhatsApp, sharing YouTube channels. So I will be working on this with a couple of people in the summer. Once like we're having the first meetings, like I said, next week or this week, and then we'll be a step further, and then we do what we do. And like I said, it's going to be a huge strive for me and everyone. And if people want to get on board, absolutely fantastic. The more the merrier. And I've never met that terminology more too. And if it works, you could have something special. If it doesn't, then we may have put a load of effort in and got no further, but who knows, it could have got a lot further. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm not giving up without a fight.
Brian, you still want people to get in touch with you? I know you was on the show the other night and
you get a few emails which I've responded to. The more I put my personal email in here again.
There you go. So
I'll put my personal email in here again.
If anyone is in the chat, that can help in any way, or they think they can help in any way, or they've got ideas or anything to do with getting this lot out of our club. Brian's put his email in the bottom of the chat. It's there. By all means, give him an email. I'm sure he'll get back to you in due course. Thank you, everyone. Before you've even emailed him, I'll say thank you. It's a big thing. Do you know what? Like I was saying earlier, sometimes people don't have the wherewithal to protest, if that's the right word to use. But we've got to try and make some of these fans aware of, and I don't know how we do it, Ben and Brian. Like Mia's been on before. She said about leafleting, right? So on a leaflet, for argument's sake, don't just necessarily put on it, this is about Enoch out, without giving a bit of context to it and hand it out to people. Try and put a bit of context on there about what it's about. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that type of thing? So
this is what I want with the email address to put out. It's whether if you want to be a part of it and register your interest, whether you've got ideas, because I'll tell you another thing that Change for Spurs did. They did loads of spaces, did loads of stuff with the Spurs fans going, what do you reckon? What do you think? Or come up with ideas. People gave some great ideas, but they were like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not. This isn't when we do this. There are people that will know me and will know that if I say I'm going to turn up to a protest, it's done. I'll be there no matter what.
Except for things when you were like, for example, when you were very unwell.
Yeah, obviously, if I've been unwell, but for everyone else for all the time I've been
you're not going to turn up with the norovirus, Brian.
Exactly. I missed one protest the entire time that I'm in England. The entire
That's the
time
one I went to.
I missed. Yes, the one that you went to. Yes,
you were there, Sheriff. That's why I didn't go.
But just because I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, doesn't mean I'm the expert on how to organise and get together or to announce. Or I know that I've got my YouTube channel with Ben. I've got my advantage that I can go on a lot of the channels that will welcome me on, like you guys. We are top. I have this, as my mum said, my mouth is my weapon of mass destruction. It can get me into a lot of trouble, but it also gets me out of a lot of trouble. So I've got the platform. Would I love my platform to be bigger? Of course I would. Of course I would. But I've got this platform I've got. But that doesn't mean I'm the be all and I know absolutely everything on the way of protesting and to get mass impact or mass exposure, whatever. So there is a lot behind it. And stuff like Mia said about leaflets. Colin Fonzamano, I think I saw him in the group earlier, last week on our show, said, why don't you just get people to go buy a black flag rather than the white and blue ones, and you put the black flag up to say, like, we all know what black means, rather than a white one for surrender. There are so many. We got the balloons on a few years ago. That was the group me and Ben were part of. There are so many different things to do and that we can do. So we will see that there's so many different ways to go above this, and it will be. That's why I want people to email me there are people that have got ideas. They may not want to protest. They may not want to be, because they don't want to be, if there's like the Change for Spurs march, it might not be their thing. They might go to Spurs with their kids. And they're like, this might not be the environment of my kids, but I might not be able to attend. But one thing I can do, I've got this idea, or I've got this. I know how to do marketing, or I know how to, whatever it is. And then we're already stronger. So this group that's going to get started, like I said, by me and 2 others, just because we're starting it doesn't mean that we're judge, jury, and executioner. Everything will be done democratically. Everything will be done, and we are stronger together. I'm not going to say all together always, like a certain club does. And you're stronger together if you can work with one another, and you're willing to listen to ideas. If, like I said, if I'm trying to organise a protest, or I say I'm going to be there, just because I've done it 100 times over, doesn't mean that someone that's done not one day of protest doesn't know more than PRing for a protest than me, or might have a friend that knows someone. Might, for all I know, mate, there could be someone watching this that's got a Manchester United fan that's deep within the Glazer out. I'd love the exposure, you know what I mean? Or the Arsenal mass walkout, or the Chelsea. There's so many. It's not just, I don't want to take, right, I've said this, I know what protest is about, you listen to me. It's our football club, our beloved football club. It's our team. No matter what anyone says, whether you're for the board, against the board, middle of the road, one thing I can assure you is we all love this football club more than the current owners do. No matter if you're pro-ENIC, whether you're anti-ENIC, whether you're middle, doesn't matter. We all love this football club a lot more, and we will be there a lot longer than they will be. And it will be passed down through the generations if we all have our way, that our kids, nephews, nieces, cousins, it's all about getting the club we want and going from there.
I agree with everything. The problem is with the whole leafleting strategy is you get the reason Change for Tottenham has now failed, because they have failed. They might not think they failed, but they failed. They failed, and they tried their hardest. You've got to give them props for trying, but they tried their hardest and they failed, just like every other protest has failed. The moment you get too many cooks in the kitchen is when everything falls apart with Spurs fans, because Spurs fans are like my family on a Friday night dinner. This person wants this. This person wants chicken soup. This person wants hot wings. This person wants that. It's my family when we went for dinner in Mallorca, and it's like my family when we were in Mallorca and we couldn't decide what restaurant to go for. So my dad, being the dictator he is, made us all look stupid by taking us to 6 different restaurants to make us all look stupid. Spurs fans don't need a democratic body now. We need a dictator that's going to say, right, this is the message. We want ENIC out. That is it. Because the moment you make it democratic is when you start getting protests. Oh, we can't do this because so-and-so has got a piano recital. We can't do this because it might offend these people. Anything ENIC out now has to be a dictatorship. It's got to be, we're there, we're going to be there. Either be with us or you're not with us. It's now too late for Kumbaya. It's too late for democratic bodies. We need ENIC out. You're not going to get ENIC out if you're appeasing everyone. If you're appeasing all the little, the way you build a bridge is with raw iron and steel. You don't build it with little bits of straw and you get this one and you get this one. No, you need steel. You need steel, and you need an iron will to say, we are going to get them out. We are going to protest. We are going to do this. We are going to do it. But the problem is we are so divided now. That's why ENIC has won, because they've managed to divide us into little sections. There is no way you can glue this little bit. It's like when you smash a bottle. There's no way you can glue a bottle back together. It's too late. They've smashed us into little pieces. There's no way of gluing that bottle back together. It's never going to work.
No. It's the old
too
divide
late.
and conquer, isn't it, Ben?
They've divided and conquered the entire because
Yeah.
no one can agree. Because even if people are eating out, they won't go to this protest because so and so is there. They won't go to this protest because they don't like the colour scheme. They won't go to this protest because there's this thing is here. There's always an excuse. There's always an excuse, and that's the problem. There's more excuses than. There's more. They instead of finding the things that do connect us together and common factor, they're always looking for the reason to divide. So they don't need to divide anymore. They don't need to do it because we find it amongst ourselves to say, "Oh, we're not going here because he's there." Even if you don't like him, you still show up. The point is you don't like him. The point is you're not supposed to like them, the football club. They're not protest. You're not at a protest because he's there. You're at a protest because you don't like what the football club are doing. So it's childish, and that's why you need an actual adult conversation, a serious adult conversation, instead of having a bitchy, clubby moan that's just a day out on a Saturday afternoon. And this is the problem. This is the problem. No one will go to a protest because they don't like this person. I'm not going. I'm not there for us. It's not a social gathering. It's a protest, and that's what Spurs fans have made it. It's a social gathering.
That's it, Ben. What you're not. This is the thing. What you have just mentioned, right there, right now, is everything that's gone wrong with what we did and what Change for Spurs did. And there was a lot of I won't go there because he's there, or I don't. That's what we're going to try and eliminate with the new group. That's why we might be asking for monthly or yearly, hopefully yearly, but depending on what the
£1 a month.
No,
£1 a month.
No, Ben, leave it to us when we get it and we work out what we're going to do. We even spoke on this channel, and I said, guys, yes or no, would you be prepared to pay £10 a year? And then literally the whole chat were like, yes, I'd actually pay £10 a month, or I'd give you £100 up front, because it's the people. This is the thing with what we're going to try and do. We're not saying, okay, this is for one and all, which obviously is what we want as many people as possible. But the way we're going to gauge at how serious we can be is by having people that are prepared. We'll see. That's the thing.
I'm not involved with this, so I can only say less is more. More people are willing to pay £1 a month than are willing to pay 10 because times are tough at the moment.
You haven't heard exactly what I just said.
I know, Brian. I know, but this is why it's interesting. People think Brian and I agree on everything. People think we agree. We actually disagree on quite a lot, which is why.
What I don't get is I just explained something about £10 a month, and the majority £10 a year. A lot of them were like, "I'll pay £10 a month to help get the flags, the banners, the this, the that, the everything." So and obviously this is just a small sample size. This is just from when we chatted on his last show.
Yeah. So only.
And if we said £10, if we said £10 a month, and there were people who went, "Well, that is," then maybe we reflect and go, "Do you know what? Maybe it's £5 a month. Maybe it's £5 a year." But can you imagine? Let's just say we were joking about like worldwide, if we could get a good few thousand. If we had 4,000 people, and I just picked 4,000 at random, and they all pay £10 a year, that's a lot of money to chunk. That's a big chunk of change to get a lot more organised, to be able to mass produce a lot more things than anything else. So it's like I said, it is all at the moment a work in process. But we are going to, the people that I'm doing, we're going to have one real push to see if this can make change. And we'll see, but we'll base this on the people that said, once we stay up or go down, then I'm going to protest. Once we know, then I'm all in. We'll see.
And what I will say to add on to that as well, Brian, is that, listen, Brian's right. It's not for everyone, right? But when Brian's ready, and I'm sure he'll give people who can give exposure to everything, we'll get the message out there on as many channels as we can. Everyone needs to share it as much as they can, But wait for Brian. I'm sure Brian, in his own time, will let everyone know at what stage he's got to, and if that can get off the ground, what the membership thing, what you've been talking about this morning, because it'll be interesting to see over the coming months how many people are actually willing to get stuck into this a little bit, whether it be through a membership, whether it be through, like you said, Brian, people have got your email now. If you want to type it in again, mate, so I don't have to find it.
Yeah, I can do it in a minute.
Whack it in again. It'll be at the bottom of the chat. That's Brian's email address. You can get to him. It's not necessarily about joining a membership things at the moment. It's about ideas, anything that you can put forward in a positive way to maybe try and get something off the ground, not only in North America, but in this country too. I don't think we should ever give up. Honestly, I don't. And I get where Ben's coming from. I understand, Ben, what you're saying, that this fan base hasn't got it in them to protest like they should be, right? But listen, who wants Enoch as your owners? Surely 26 years, tells you everything. Yeah, and it's only getting worse, everyone. It's only getting worse. You know, we're in the worst position we've ever been in since the days of the relegation of 77. Whether you remember that or not is neither here nor there. Right? But we're in a perilous position now, and we've been put there predominantly by owners that, one, haven't got a Scooby-Doo about what they're doing, and two, just the standard of player that's been bought has been eradicated over the years. And they've done it very slowly, very successfully. Yeah. And again, like Ben said earlier on, you know, the fan base is totally divided in lots of separate ways, lots of different factions. Yeah. But for me, and this is me, we've got to try and find a way to bring some of those people that are divided. And like Ben said, it might be something as simple as, well, I'm not going to a protest because he's there. You know, pathetic at the end of the day. The goal is the same for everyone, though, Ben. You know, whether people get there in different ways is what we was talking about. You know, we've got to try and get those fans involved that do want that, but they've got different ideas of how to get there.
Indeed. And one thing I will disagree with you, Mark, on the whole they don't have a Scooby-Doo on who they're buying. I think they exactly know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They exactly know what they're doing because they see that the Spurs fans will give any excuse in the book for someone that's young. Any excuse. So they buy young. They do it because they think, I'll buy a player for 1 million with massive potential because hopefully I can sell him for 100 million. That's what Spurs do because they know that moment we have a kid playing for us, people will think he's going to be the next Harry Kane.
Yeah,
Harry Kane's a 1 in 2 billion. He's a 1 in 2 billion footballer.
Oh yeah.
So Spurs fans like Bergvall. I'm not blaming Bergvall for it, but Bergvall's my example. The kid does absolutely nothing because he should be learning at a lower. He should be learning a trade at a lower level. But because he's 18, Spurs fans will say, "Oh, he's a deep professor. He's world class. He's a generational talent." Instead of just saying, "What does he do on the pitch for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club now?"
Instead of like most clubs do, they'll bring in experienced professionals and then bring a kid in to look, you know, so they got mentors around them to bring them on and learn. We don't do that.
We buy only kids because Spurs fans will give any excuse for kids. So Spurs fans have an obsession with youth players, which is really annoying because, as Stell says, Tottenham Hotspur's academy and Tottenham Hotspur's first team, they aren't connected. They're two separate entities, really. The first team should be looking at bringing these young players through, but they're not. They're directly opposed to each other.
Yeah. So
although the academy might be playing total football and playing really good football, the first team won't bring them through. They're diametrically opposed to each other. They won't work with each other. There should be a pathway. But because we're obsessed with buying kids and putting them through rather than bringing through our own youth. But The whole point of the matter is we shouldn't be relying on children, but we do because Spurs fans will give any excuse for kids. We'll give any excuse for them because they're young.
I just wanted to add something because I saw Kate saying about whether it was money. Kate, darling, we're going to have memberships and subscription and help with donations. It does not, darling. Not everyone has to pay. It's if you want to. There's no you can only be part of us if you pay.
Or if you can afford to.
There will be bits that we plan to do because if we make everything public, and we were talking about this as well, Mark, weren't we? If we make everything public, the club can and we know the club look at everything on social media, not just Tottenham, every football club or every basketball club or every sport organisation, they look and monitor everything that's going on with their supporters groups, their whatever it may be. So there will be certain things that if you do pay to become a member, there's going to be some perks to having a member. It's not just give me your money so we can get a banner. There's going to be, obviously, you can join members monthly meetings to discuss ideas or whatever. With what we do, you won't be able to just be a part of it if you give us money, whatever that may be. Should we get this up and running, and we do. But if it came across that way, that's my mistake. There will be. We want as many people as possible to be involved and have their say and do whatever. But like we said, to make sure, if you look at Change for Spurs, those flags and the scarves they got done, which weren't them, but the first ones didn't have 1882, it had 1982. And they had
that's right.
They had to redo them and get the right ones because they got the wrong year. So anything we do get will be going, and obviously we'll show on the website this is where this money went to, so it's all accounted for and everything. We're gonna have a proper accountant, so that's maybe I'll go ask Daniel if he wants to be the for the Enoch out.
Why not?
He'll cook the books for us. But yeah, it will be above board, all documented. But just if you're not in a position, we all know the world's in a hard place. Just because if you don't have the money, doesn't mean you can't be a part of this. There's lots of Spurs fans that can't go to the game because they can't afford it. I'm not going to exclude, or we're not going to exclude, all those people that want to be able to take their kids to football. Or you got to remember how many people now buy their stuff at DHgate? Because especially if you got, like when my parents buy the Isaac and Noah football kits, they get them every year, home, away, and third kit. As well as my parents have, you know what I mean, they're not on the breadline or anything. They're not going to pay blooming for three. That's £300 a kit, or for three before the names and numbers. My parents are going to shell out £600 every year. My dad can't stand the ownership; he won't spend money in there. So we're at a time where money in football is absolutely
craziness, Brian. It's craziness.
And I will say we are Spurs TV, brother. There were people like that say they're not going because of Still. There were people that said they won't go because of me. There were people that won't go because whatever. The group that we started, people were going, they're getting drunk all the time. I can tell you now, a lot of them are either reformed alcoholics or don't drink at all. So yeah, this is the thing.
You called everything, weren't you, Brian?
Cheers, Rod Ross. This is what it's about.
I just wanted to say, Brian, when that came up, I didn't know if you'd figured that sort of thing into the equation, a GoFundMe maybe.
Well, this is the thing. This is whether we do it through the website that we plan to build, whether we do have a GoFundMe with the link to it. This is the thing. There are when like I said, when we turned up, put it this way, the training ground protests we did for the deadline day. The group that I was part of, me, Ryan, and Graham, started saying, "Listen, I think we need to do it." All the other people had work. I was over there on a holiday, so I was going to say it meant nothing to me. I had all the free time in the world, and literally, we started on the day before we beat Leicester 3-2 with the Bergwijn goals.
Yeah,
and we still hadn't signed anyone, or there wasn't any activity. Obviously, Bentancur and Kulu came right at the end. And it got to about day 15 of the window, and me, Ryan, and Graham said, "All right, guys, listen, you guys can't get there. You've been saying it might look silly with just the three of us, but I was like, do you know what? We've been talking about it. We've all got the time. We're going to do it." And there was no advertising. There was just literally on my Twitter, anyone that can get to the training ground for the next few days, we're going to be here from X to X.
Yeah.
Whether you're put down for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 hours, whatever, please come if you can. And it got so far. There's a guy that goes on We Are Tottenham TV from America called Philly Alley. He saw what we were doing. He sent a message to We Are Tottenham TV saying, "Can you put me in touch with Brian?" And gave my number. He paid for me, Graham, and Ryan to have breakfast and lunch. He ordered lunch from America on Uber Eats in England and paid to have it delivered to us because there are only pubs nearby.
Yeah.
We were sitting out there all day, so we had a coffee and a breakfast roll or whatever. Then he paid for, and again that was him in America, just for us standing out there. But that was with no advertising, no planning, just me and Ryan putting on our social media. We're here if you want to come down. There's a lot of work that needs to go into it. There's so much work. If they get done right, then it needs to be done correctly, not just hit and miss and let's see what hits and what doesn't.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's got to be and like I said, this is where people that can email me or on shows, and the other two will come on shows when we're near release date or whatever we want to call it, and we'll get everything across. And then if people want to get involved and they understand and they like what we're trying to do, then we'll see where it goes. But there needs to be one massive group or one group that's always had the message that is, this is what we're doing, this is where we want to go. We will not bend to this. We will not say, we will not postpone for the likes of this or that, regardless if there's a big majority that say, oh yeah, but we want to clap the coach or what any other possible idea they have. The mission will be like we used to do. Every single home game, there will be something. Hopefully, not just outside, inside. And like we said, we will keep going. And hopefully, this time, we tried with our group. We tried with Chase for Spurs. What did they say? Third time lucky.
Yeah, let's hope so. Look, I can only. I want protest. I don't want to hear no more. Right, and I don't, and you know what I've said to you, Brian. I'm up in Manchester, Sheriff's down in the West Country. We'll do everything we can to help because I think that we should have one final push. Try and get people on board with this. Listen, if it don't work, right, unfortunately, they'll have the club they deserve. Yeah, we'll be the ones that are left frustrated at the end of the day. But I think. Try and organise it, like you said properly, Brian. Have people in control of posts, make it all legal, official, whatever it is. Do it all the right way, and see where it gets us, mate. I don't know what else you can do. That's I don't know to try and get people on board,
mate. Like I said to you when we did the chat. People like yourself that might not be able to get down to the ground. If there's a load of people that are in Manchester or around Lancashire and that kind of way, away days.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to the game or not. But if you're in Manchester and we're at Old Trafford or obviously the Etihad, then you just go where the Spurs fans are and start. And believe me, a lot of the Spurs away fans want change.
I'll be all right.
Join you out. They'll gladly join you outside. I mean, if there's so everything can have an impact. Whether you're in Manchester, there's Spurs fans that live in Newcastle, everywhere across the country, everywhere across the world. Yeah. Everyone can have an impact. And
I'll be all right. I will be all right. I'll get to Bristol City next year.
There you go, mate. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Stay up or go down. It's going on, people.
There you go.
We'll have you know that. Listen, my missus has got the hump with me so much, she's gone up the allotment in an Uber. So,
oh my days, mate.
Oh yeah, mate. So I've carried on anyway. She's all right.
Mate, just put a couple of extra hoodies on when you go up there, so you got some cushion.
We got a couple of the grandkids this afternoon. Do you know what I mean? So she wanted to do a bit up the allotment before. She's all right. Anyway, I'll go and pick her up in a bit. She's all right. Have you got anything else that you want to say, Ben and Brian in particular, about where we go as far as I know we've just done the best part of 45 minutes an hour on the
subject. It's been 2 hours or best bloody hell.
Yeah. So I I know you've explained yourself, Brian. Ben, I know you think that it can't get off the ground, and I get where you're coming from and that type of thing. But is there anything that you could suggest to fans to do to help others sort of come to the dark side, if you like? I know you said leaflets and stuff like that, but anything off the top of your head that you think, do you know what?
This is the beauty of it, Mark. Right now, where the state we are, I shouldn't need to go on a monologue about what is going on at our football club and why we need change, whatever. The club are showing it themselves. The club are showing it themselves, whether it be the pricing of tickets, whether it be the pricing of merchandise. From what I'm hearing, I can't vouch for it myself. I know Ben doesn't really eat in there. Apparently, the quality of food has gone completely south compared to what it was when the stadium was in its first few years. They're cutting corners. The price of the drinks are going up. The kits, the shop. I mean, changing everything. Like I unsubscribed to receiving all mail from the club.
Yeah.
Because every day I was getting, do you want to see our new golf range or F1 experience or NFL this, the Skywalk? Like when they send out in January the 50% off your memberships or season tickets for the half price. It's like, get 50% off your season ticket for the rest of the season. I'm like, well, it's not 50% off, is it? Half the season's gone. You're not going to charge me a full season ticket for half the season.
You're still paying full whack, but only half of it.
Of course you get, exactly. There's so look, I'm. What is it they say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I, like I've said to you, Mark, before, when I came onto YouTube and I was on We Are Tottenham TV, predominantly in Tottenham away and not really getting on other channels, my shtick was coming on shouting and screaming and being the comedy part, and not to the levels of comedy expressions, but my thing was shouting, raving, getting animated. Doesn't work. Doesn't work because you're trying to talk to people and influence them and put your point across. Are you going to go Are you going to go to a shop to buy a suit or a car dealership to buy a car and listen to a guy and listen to the salesman or whatever that's addressing your needs, talking to you like we're talking now and having the conversation, putting your points across, willing to take on information and constructive criticism, and having a normal, calm discussion like this? And I found it works a lot easier doing this way, both for getting the message across, for my blood pressure, my anger, my sanity, to keep it on a more professional and courteous way of speaking. And I know it had a big impact on the way people saw me on this mission and whatever. Obviously, I've ruffled some feathers with the I want Ange Postecoglou out. I've ruffled feathers with the and listen, I brought it on myself with Thomas Frank. Like I said, I have said many a stupid thing in my life. I say many a stupid thing to Ben regularly, whether it's live or in private. But I don't think there's been more stupider sentence that's come out of my mouth than I think Thomas Frank is going to take Spurs to the promised land. I was completely wrong. Completely, totally, utterly wrong. But I still get grief going, oh my God, you wanted Frank. Because it's what some people just want to bitch and moan about. I've moved on. I was wrong. I'm not going to, like I said, any manager that comes in now, I'm not going to say a word. I would say, good luck, buckle in. Well, Ben, I would say, good luck, buckle in. Let me hope the manager does well, but I'm not going balls deep into a manager again. I'm not going to give it the big I am. What I will do, though, and I will tell people now, which I'm going to make no excuses for, next season or whenever it is Alfie Divine is in the Spurs first team, I won't be calming down my Alfie Divine love. That will magnify it, and I will do it shamelessly, guilty as charged, and forever and a day. So yeah, that's me signing off. Off you go, Ben.
The problem is, Brian, with I know you can say you're wrong all you like, Brian. Since Thomas Frank was sacked, how many games of football have we won?
Yeah.
So you're not wrong, but you're not right either. So people sticking in the knife and twisting the knife into you. And I'm not saying Thomas Frank was a good manager. He's proven that he wasn't a good manager for Spurs. But also sacking him wasn't necessarily replacing Thomas Frank and replacing him with Igor Tudor wasn't a smart idea, was it? Because whatever you say about Thomas Frank, we were still getting points here and there. If Thomas Frank was the manager, we might be safe because we might have got 10 draws. It might not have been pretty, but we might have got 10 draws, and those 10 draws would have us on 40 points. We might have. You don't know. But sacking Thomas Frank and bringing in Igor Tudor, who's got no experience of this sort of thing, might not have been was a bit of a. If you're going to sack Frank, you bring in De Zerbi immediately. So Spurs were skimping on that 12.
As usual, because they've sacked him too late, Ben. They've used him as the scapegoat through the transfer window, as usual. Yeah, and then they've got rid of him. A proper football club would have
sacked him before January.
Yes, correct.
Sacked him before January. Given De Zerbi one transfer window.
Yeah.
But the problem is, as much as I want to say to you that Thomas Frank was an utter failure. Did Spurs? Thomas Frank went from Mbermo, Visser, and who was the other guy? Who was the other guy he had? Mbermo, Visser, and
I'm looking at him and I can't think of his name, Ben.
Mbermo, Visser, and
no, it's gone out of my head.
Help me out, chat. He went from the three forwards he had at Brentford to Kola Moali, Richarlison, Matisse Tell, Odeber. He went. There's no wonder why we couldn't score. He asked for Savinio, didn't get him. Asked for Morgan Gibbs-White, didn't get him because the club fucked up on that. Ivan Toney as well. We had Ivan Toney as well. He had Ivan Toney up front, but he didn't have Ivan Toney last year, and they were still scoring goals because they had Wisser, who was a good forward. It's no wonder. So Spurs fans were saying, "Oh, I hate Bentancur and Paulinho in the team. It's boring. This isn't the Spurs way. The Spurs way, whatever the fuck the Spurs way is." I'm sorry, people that want to talk about the Spurs way. It's a myth. It's legend now. The Spurs way hasn't been played since 1964 or 1967 in the FA Cup final when we beat Chelsea. The Spurs way hasn't existed for years. And Spurs are, this is the Tottenham way. We've got to play football with a flourish and we got to play football this way, this way. Tell me, Spurs fans, the last 3 trophies Spurs won, have we played the Spurs way to win those last 3 trophies? No, we haven't. In 99, we played dreadful football under George Graham. 2008, we played dreadful football under Juan de Ramos. And to win the Europa League, we played the worst football I've ever seen. 10 men behind the ball and hoofing it up. So the Spurs way is a myth. It's a myth.
Yep.
We've not played good football since the 80s. Pochettino, we played good football, but it was here and there. Pochettino was the last time we played, but I don't think Pochettino's football was the Spurs way. The Spurs way was Bill Nicholson's style of football. Push and run, free-flowing, footballers all over the pitch that could play in any position, the likes of Glenn Hoddle, the likes of Mickey Hazard, the likes of the Dave Mackay's, although people see him as a hard man. You see him as playing as a hard man, but he was a top footballer. Danny Blanchflower, the ghost of White Lane, John White, Jimmy Reeves, John White play. They were footballers. They were total football before the Dutch total football team of the 70s and Brazil of the 70s. They were the originators of that style of football. But Spurs haven't played that football since the 60s. The Spurs way is a myth. We've played some good football. Under different, but they're not the Spurs way. We played Pochettino's style of football, which was the Argentinian, aggressive, push from the front, win the ball up high, and then the likes of a Harry Kane would score goals. The likes of Dele would arrive late and score goals. But we weren't necessarily a team that play, like, for example, we don't like mentioning these boys, but the Arsenal team under Wenger that played some sensational football, the likes of that Liverpool team that would pass the ball around really effortlessly under a Jurgen Klopp. That sort of, it's almost like the Barcelona, the Spurs way of the 60s is closer to the way Barcelona were playing under Pep Guardiola. Everyone being able to play football, of everyone being able to play in Ajax play that style of football as well, with everyone being able to play attacking football. It's mythical. It's mythical. So the closer we say Tottenham Hotspur are not the Tottenham Hotspur of the 60s anymore. We've got to start thinking of tomorrow rather than yesteryear, and that's where Spurs fans need to start thinking of tomorrow instead of thinking about what their granddad saw. Because I've not seen Spurs play. I've not seen Spurs play the Spurs way in my lifetime, and that's just the truth of it. I don't even think you boys have seen the Spurs way in your lifetime. You might think differently, Cookie, and I think the last time we played the Spurs way was 1967.
No, mate, no, Spurs were playing beautiful football, which is what Spurs stand for, with Pochettino consistently. Mate, this is the thing. It's differentiating. The push and run team is the 50s. The double winning team.
Well, we also played push and run in the 60s because Bill Nicholson learned from Arthur Rowe and the likes of Alf Ramsey.
You have to allow me to finish, brother. You have to allow me to finish. The 60s, we had that. The Spurs way, which Spurs stood for, was playing attacking football, trying to keep the ball on the ground and using that to win matches and resemble what this club embodies and stands for. And we did that with Poch consistently. You could say we did it at the beginning with Ange, with the first 10 games. No, it wasn't done consistently. Just don't go there. But if people don't say the Spurs way wasn't played under Pochettino, then I don't know what we're doing here. I don't think it necessarily was the Spurs way. I think it's the Pochettino way.
I'll say the general. Under Birkinshaw, we played some good football. Early 80s.
That was where I was going, but you know, everyone knows I love Keith Birkinshaw anyway and what he did for Tottenham. So,
I was 1 and 2 years old when we were winning the FA Cup. So it's a little bit before my time, but obviously I've seen videos on it.
Listen, but back in the day, Brian, everyone has to remember, you know, we were talking about getting relegated, like now. When we went down in 77, he brought us back up by the skin of our teeth. We got back up on goal difference. We was never going to go on and win the league and do stuff like that, right? Even though with what he had available at the time, I'd take Archibald and Crooks, by the way, any day of the week right now, by the way. Proper players, right? But we came back up. We went on. We won the FA Cup in 81 and 82 because that's what we was known for, being a cup team. Right, we then went on to win the UEFA Cup in 84. Now, when we talk about now, right, and then luckily enough, what I was lucky enough to see back then, that's where I want Tottenham to get back to again. We all want to win the league, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think, and Tottenham never have been that team that's going to go and win the league regularly. No. And I think personally, if we got back to that team that was winning and competing for FA Cups again and, you know, UEFA Cups and whatever, we all want to win the Champions League. We all want to win the thing, but we've got to get this club moving in the right direction again. And the only way for that to happen is the structure to be aligned from top to bottom.
But we've also got to think within our means, Cookie, don't we? Because I mean, Spurs fans are saying, "Oh, we got to sign the likes of Adam Wharton and players like that." Spurs fans need to pump the brakes.
Oh yeah, we've got to calm down.
Forget signing big name players. We need mid-table players because we're not even a mid-table team anymore, Cookie. We're a relegation team, and we've been a relegation team for the last 3 years.
Yeah. I get you, man.
In
I get
terms
you
of form,
totally.
we need to start buying just better. We need better than Jed Spence. We need better than Vicario. We need better than Udogi that plays 2 minutes. We need better. Because these players are not even mid-table players. These are relegation. Odebears, we need mid-table players.
I'll take you
Mid-table.
back. I'll take you back to when the general was in charge. When we got promoted, the first thing the club did.
So,
bring
so
in
Mark,
Ozzy and Ricky.
before you, sorry, I'm going to let you carry on, but I am going to drop off because I've got an alarm set for 1 hour and 50 minutes.
You better get some kit.
And I
mate.
need some shut eye before Ben and I get into
Right.
more domestics as we speak about Spurs Wolves. So I am
We
going
won't
to.
have a domestic.
We
might have a domestic.
I'm
It's
going
never
to
happening.
leave you all. Everyone in the chat, have a wonderful Friday. Let's just hope Spurs. I haven't even got the energy to do my 4 sign-outs. I'll just do the most important one. I'm going to put my email address in here one final time. So if people do want to quickly pin it down and say and get in touch with me. But if you follow me on social media, DM me, message me, whatever, then I'll be in touch. Mark, as in Cookie and Sheriff, have a great one.
And
Yeah.
you, man.
Ben,
And-
see you soon. Everyone in the chat, have a wonderful Friday. Let's hope Spurs give us a happy Saturday. And as always, Edic out.
Big
There you
up,
go.
man.
And there's a message from Mr. Daigle. There's his email on the screen. Again, ideas, anything that you think that you may be able to offer to help in the task to get this off the ground. All ideas are welcome. At the end of the day, it's there for you to see, and make sure as well you get over to Tottenham on Tour. If
Yeah.
you're not subscribed over there, get over
Right.
there, give them a sub. And also the same to this man below, Ben Kaufman at the Coffee Company. You know, if you want a chilled stream in the afternoon, generally, I won't say all the time, Ben, because when
Sometimes
you
I
get
love
upset,
a
you
rant.
can go off on one, right? But generally, if you want to have a chill in the afternoon, Ben's there. So get over to him. You got a dual stream today with
We got a
Brian,
dual stream with Mr. Daigle on both our channels.
There you go.
We'll talk about the Spurs game. We'll probably have another moan because there's a lot to moan about at the moment. I'm chill with it. I'm chill with it. The only thing I'm not chill about is like what I said in my little monologue just there. I think the Spurs fans need to be a bit more realistic about where we are as a football club. I think Spurs need to think about where we are instead of where we want to be.
Yeah.
Because you can only build the bricks that you're on at that moment in time. You can only lay the foundations which you've got to lay. You don't build a house before you've laid the foundations. And Spurs fans are thinking we need to win the Champions League and win the league and do this and do that and do this and do that, which is it's all unrealistic drivel in my opinion. Spurs need to just build a decent football team again. That's all Spurs need. Build a decent football team that we can all get behind. Because I'll tell you, I can't get behind any of these players bar 4. I can't get behind them because they're all rubbish. I remember the likes of like the Simon Davises of the world who never set the world alight, but they tried. The likes of Stephen Carr, who wasn't the greatest, but he tried. Even the likes of even the likes of a Mauricio Taricco. He wasn't great, but he tried. We've got players that are supposedly good, but they don't give a shit. They don't care. We just need to build a decent football team again that can play decent enough football that can win football matches. That's all we need to do.
Yeah, it'd be a good start, Ben. Do you know what I mean? Like you say, you have to start somewhere. Have we reached the bottom of the V yet, as they say, Ben? Or could it get even worse?
It can get worse. If we go down to the Championship, don't be surprised if we do what Leicester have done, which is drop into League One.
Bloody hell. We're playing Yeovil soon.
Yeah.
It can happen. Other teams have gone to the Championship. It's not the first time a team has gone down to the Championship, thought they were too good, and then dropped down another league. It happens. Look at where Bolton are.
Yeah.
Bolton were a perennial Premier League football team playing. We could drop down another league because if you lose 25, we're going to lose. If we go down to the championship, we could lose 20 players and be left with only 5. And I think none of us would be mad if 20 players left. That's how crap they are.
Yeah.
But Matt, you have to build an entire squad of player in one window. Because if you don't hit the ground running in the championship, the championship will eat you up. People don't realise how good a league that league is. It is a difficult league. It is a really physical, and every team that's going to play us in the championship will treat it as like a final.
Oh, it's cup final for them.
It will be.
You'll never have been to a ground like ours, and the players would.
They will play out of their skins. Every single team will play out of their skins.
The away teams that come to the Lane next year, if we go to the championship, they have never been in a stadium like that. They have never had the facilities that the away changing room has got. You got to remember, a lot of the championship teams get changed in a porta cabin.
Yep, they're going to have leather seats.
Yeah,
leather seats,
all the
leather
stuff,
everything,
all the ice baths and all that.
Oh, mate, don't. Honestly, they're going to lap it up next season when they come to our gaff. If we're
it will be a shock to a lot of people how tough the championship is. It is.
I agree with you, Ben. I agree
tough
with you.
old league. Look how long. I know Leeds. Well, Leeds thought they were too big to go down originally. Remember when Leeds went down? And they were in the league championship for over a decade.
Listen, about 7 years before, they were in the... Do you remember the old Viduka days, Ben? I don't know if you might have seen the videos. Leeds, I think, were in the semi-final of the Champions League.
Yeah, they were.
Right? And look what happened to them. So don't believe it can't happen to a big
Coventry.
Club,
Coventry were a big team. Coventry were a big team back in the day.
Yeah,
they were in the championship for 20. What was it? 20 years they were in the championship. 20 years.
Yeah.
Portsmouth won the FA Cup. Where have they been? Wigan won the FA Cup. Where have they been?
They also got relegated that year.
Yeah, they also got relegated. The year they won the league. Wigan won the League Cup, not the FA Cup. The
FA Cup.
It was the FA Cup, wasn't it? It was.
They got relegated the same year.
Ben Watson, wasn't it? Ben Watson scored the goal in the final, didn't he?
Yeah, Ben Watson. Yeah, big up Ben Watson.
Man City, they beat.
You are.
Man City. It was Man City. It was Man City.
Man City. That's right.
At the corner.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Of course, it can.
Because you sleepwalk. You think, the players. We're too good for this. We're Tottenham, and you go straight back down. Back down.
And people have to understand as well, if these people upstairs are not understanding how bad it is now, right? What makes anyone think they're going to understand how bad it is if you're a league below?
Well, if you're on the championship, mate, you need men. You need men in the team.
The average age of a championship team is 26, I believe.
There you go.
About 26.
Right. And my thing is about it is, for argument's sake, let's say, just for argument's sake, right, we're in it right till the end and we get relegated on the last day of the season against Everton. Let's just say that, right? It could happen before, but let's just say that. That leaves them the best part of about 10 or 11 weeks, something like that. It might be a little bit longer before the championship season then starts. You're talking about having that much time to get rid of a load of players that they don't want anymore. And like Ben says, it could be a mass exodus.
Well,
right?
It'll be a car boot sale, mate, because everyone will want to leave.
But Mark, they've got to have the time to do it. Tottenham don't move fast on anything. And you've got to remember as well, if there was a max exodus, even if you said 15 went, if you said 12 went, right, they've still got to replace them. There's no structure there. There's no one in the club that understands the Premier League. How are they going to understand the Championship? And this
Championship's a difficult. It's a difficult old league.
But where's all the time going to come from, Ben? Where's all the time going to come from to do all this stuff quickly?
And
you know, and I know it's not going to happen.
And the World Cup's on.
Yep, and the World Cup's on. But that's not going to matter if we're in the Championship, Mark, because no Championship players are going to be at the World Cup. Very few Championship players will be at the World Cup.
But some of us that probably want to leave will be there.
Well, it'll be a massive fire sale. We're gonna have to sell them for just to get their wages up, because the FFP works differently in the Championship than it does in the Premier League. Massively different. That's why Leicester have been given a massive points deduction, because they can't have Premier League players in the chat. You've got to play them. You've got to pay within your means.
Yeah, and not so much the wage cap thing. The cap in the Championship is massive compared to the wage cap type thing. It's like Spurs is massive. Yeah. So the only way that you're getting under that level, and apparently there is a bit of leeway to it when you first go down, if you go down. But Tottenham have got we sat here the other week, Mark, and they've got to virtually get rid of anyone who's a senior player.
It'd be a boot sale, mate.
Yeah.
And this person said that about talking double relegation is nonsense. When we were on the picket line and you were there, Mark, when I said it, people thought it was nonsense that we could get relegated to the Championship. People thought it was nonsense
since December on here, Ben. Since December, and Mark will tell you, because he used to say to me, Cookie, don't be ridiculous, mate. We ain't going down. It ain't that bad, right? And we could see it from way before. But when it got to December, I said to Mark, watch, Mark. I said, and he'll back me up here. Yeah. Right? I said, we're going down, right? I said, if this carries on, we're going down. And I said, if this club get in the bottom three, have we got the bollocks to get out of it? My answer is still no. Yeah. And it's not about I'm right, you're wrong, right? It's got nothing to do with that, right? It's just, you could see it. You could just see it a mile off. And you know they're not going to do nothing about it. January came. They did nothing about it. They used Thomas Frank as usual, as whatever manager's in charge, as some sort of screen to get them through the window.
He was a scapegoat, wasn't he?
It's just, it's nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Yeah, well, I'll back you up here. You did say that in December, because I said, nah, mate, we ain't that bad, come on. And you said you were. Yeah, and whatever you said.
People thought we're Tottenham Hotspur, we can't get relegated.
Yeah.
Anyone can go down. There are bigger teams than Spurs that could have got like. I don't want to have this conversation because we need to end the show because you can continue the show.
Have your last say on this, Ben. Then Mark will say what he says.
Everton could be seen as a bigger club than Tottenham Hotspur in the league because Spurs have won 2 league titles and Everton have won 9. So as a league football team. As a team that's played in the Football League, Everton are a bigger club than Spurs. Of course, you can say Spurs have won more FA Cups, more European trophies, but then you could say that Everton team never got a chance to play in Europe because there was an English ban in Europe. Yeah. There was an English ban. Everton could have won the Champions League, but they never got a chance to compete in it. But
that was Heysel. Look, that was
after Heysel. Yeah. There was a ban on English teams. There was a ban on English teams. But Everton and this is a fact. Everton as a league playing team in England are a bigger team than Tottenham because they've won 9 league titles to Spurs' 2.
Everton for a few years in the 80s.
Everton could have gone down. Aston Villa won a Champions League or a European Cup as it was then. They went down. No one is too big to go down.
Everton back in the 80s had 5 or 6 years where they were constantly competing. And they won it a couple of times, I think.
9 league titles they've got, Sheriff. 9 league titles.
Yeah. But in the 80s, they were a big team. Regularly in the FA Cup final, sort of mid-80s and onwards.
Big Dunk Ferguson up front.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Mark, right, Ben, don't mean to cut you short. Everyone get over to Ben at the coffee company. Make sure you subscribe to him. Mark, have you got anything else that you want to add to the conversation about anything as such we've been talking about?
No, brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's been a pleasure to be on.
As always.
The guest appearance. This isn't my show. You know that. This is yours.
It's not my show, mate. It's our show. Go on, carry on.
It's our show, but it's your show.
It's everyone's show. It's everyone's show. It belongs to the community.
There you go. I always want to get people involved. Look, listen, before everyone runs away, right? Don't forget tonight at 7:30. It's the fan pre-match call-in show. It's all about you fans tonight. What you want to see tomorrow, anything that you want to talk about to do with Spurs. So make sure that you get over us tonight at 7:30. There'll be plenty of people jumping on. I hope anyway. And going to look like a pair of
It'll
plums.
just be me and you sat up for 10 minutes. Say, stop it. Go to the pub.
That's it. Listen, everyone's welcome to join, whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're a fan. We can get 8 people on plus us at a time. So if there is a bit of a wait, which has been known, I'll have you know, yeah, just be patient. Wait for someone to drop out, and then a space will become available.
Well, we will rotate people.
Of course.
If there's too many.
Yeah.
If there's like too many, because we get notifications on the screen if someone's waiting to come in.
Of course.
And we got 10 on the screen, then we'll just have to say, look.
That's it. Well, yeah, they'll work it out. Listen, make sure everyone gets over to Brian as well. He's give his time up, like Ben has this morning, to come on. You've got his email in the chat. If you need to email him, you can email him. But more than anything, make sure you give him a sub and hit the bell so you know when he's coming on. Same to Ben. Ben's coming on live in about an hour and a half. Make sure you get over there, 2:00. Brian will be on with Ben. Have a chat over there. But make sure you subscribe to the 2 Marks, because we need you. You need to subscribe to the channel. We need to get bigger. We need to get more people involved, just like everyone has been over the last few weeks. And also, considering we've had the moderator on today and Chief Legend Daigle, right? This like button needs to be hit on the way out. All right? I'm just letting you know.
Also disagreeing with each other. It's not an echo chamber.
There you go. This is what it's all about. That's why I want to hear all the different opinions. There's Ben's link. Make sure you get over to Ben later on, people. We appreciate you. Listen, Wolves tomorrow. We'll talk about it tonight. Get in, 7:30, the fan call-in show. Big up, Ben. Thanks for coming on. Big up to Dave.
Cheers, boys.
Big up to the Sheriff. And also, as always, big up to the chat. All right? It's been going mental for the last 2.5 hours odd, with all of you having your conversations in here. One more thing to say, as always, and I can't do the Daigle thing because he's already gone, but Ben will do it for us. Go on, Ben.
If you smell what the coffee's brewing, and as always, in it out.
See you tonight, everyone. Take care.
Cookie and the Sheriff.